Good evening. It's Elizabeth Diamond for the Diamonds Forever 31. Rawr, taking dominion of the earth. And that means taking dominion with love, conquers all, in all aspects of ourselves, in us, through us, into all times, dimensions on earth and beyond. And 13, Christ consciousness, our learning who we really are, our supernatural, natural selves. So welcome everybody tonight on July 6th, 2015. We have quite a lineup tonight. You wouldn't want to miss any of it. And this is reference number 252. 5 and 2 is 7. Good number, Jubilee. So 252 pounds. Right after we hang up, if you want to listen to the recording via the phone, just dial 209-255-1099. That's the recorded line, 1099. And the PIN number 883267 pound. Reference number 252 pound. So welcome everybody, and let's get started. And I want to introduce Lily Diamond, co-host of Diamonds. Come on in, Lily.
Lily's here.
We're going to do the Master of Laughter, the Law of Fun. So take it away,
Woo.
Lily.
Yeah, giggle, ha, ha, ha.
Oops.
I'd like everybody to just very deep.
Go ahead, Lily.
Hi.
Hi.
And while you're taking your deep breath, kind of reach back in your mind the last time you belly laughed. And if you can remember what it was about, kind of get that in the back of your mind after you take your deep breath. And I want you to put your hand on your belly button and literally pull your belly button in. So put your hand on your belly, unmute yourself, because we want to hear your joy. You're going to hear mine, so I want to hear yours. So pull your belly button into your tummy, towards your spine, and we're going to start with ha.
Ha. Ha.
Ha, ha, ha.
Ha, ha, ha. Okay, the ha-ha law of fun. The law of fun conquers all, too. Have fun, everybody. Just a reminder. Thank you, Lily. Thank you so much. Namaste, girl. Okay. Great. Let's see. All right. Up. Okay. On to the next. The Forever Forward News. Is Daniel here? Star 6, Daniel. This is the dive. And otherwise, we don't know. He may or may not because of engagement. Hello. Want to say hi? Somebody rang the doorbell. I should turn the doorbells off. Okay. Now's your time to say hi, everybody. Come on in, Star 6. Okay. So
hi.
Let me start with hi. Who's this?
Patty.
Patty, nice. Welcome.
I'm late. I'm sorry.
No, we just got started. You missed a lot of fun.
I'm late for a very important date. I was chasing the rabbit again. Sorry.
Okay, that's good.
Love you too.
Yeah. Okay, let's start with Benjamin Fulford Report, July 6, 2015. He came out today, and then we'll bring Daniel on if he's here, or he may not be here, so we'll see. And Daniel, if you're here, we'll just play this Benjamin, and then you come on in. The title, Benjamin Fulford Report. Let me read that title. Fresh out the press. Top secret negotiations continue as Greek, quote unquote, no vote pressures Western oligarchy to surrender. Now this is all about the financial reset and the financial stuff going on. We're getting closer and closer, creeping closer and closer every year, every month, every minute. So this is actually the time of what's going on. Benjamin describes what I have been looking for a long time, in an economist's mind, why. So it's turning around. Here we go.
For the update, July 6, 2015, top secret negotiations continue as Greek no vote pressures Western oligarchy to surrender. The Greek default and subsequent Greek no vote to payment of further blood money to bankers has put a sense of urgency to ongoing negotiations for a new financial system, according to Western and Asian sources. At the same time, the Khazarian mob is resorting to increasingly futile threats and manufactured terror incidents in an attempt to stave off its inevitable ouster from control of banking. The fact that 61% of Greek citizens voted to refuse to pay for bankers' reckless mistakes indicates a majority of the people at the street level in that country now recognize the criminal nature of the Western banking system. The fact is the Greek people now know they are not legally responsible for debts incurred by mafiosi banker gamblers and will therefore not pay. This has set in motion the first domino that will lead inexorably to the bankruptcy of the Khazarian banking system and their criminal subsidiary known as the United States of America Corporation. A Greek default, as mentioned previously, is just the first domino that will be followed by Spain, Portugal, Ireland, Italy, France, Germany, and then the United States. The IMF has issued a report calling for a 20-year delay in Greek debt payments because if the IMF lists their loans to Greece as having gone bad, they will have to admit they themselves are insolvent. The world's major creditor nations like China and other Asian countries refuse to lend more money to the IMF because it remains a de facto tool of the Washington, D.C. criminals who wield a veto over that institution. The Washington, D.C. cabal cannot bail out the IMF or the European Central Bank because they themselves are bankrupt, as can be seen by the fact they are cooking their books. They have kept their debt frozen at $18.112 trillion ever since they missed a payment due on March 15. Furthermore, other dominoes have also begun to fall. In the fuss about Greece, much of the world's attention has been diverted from the fact that another America subsidiary, the Nazi government in the Ukraine, has also missed a payment and gone bankrupt. Furthermore, the America Puerto Rico colony, known by many as the 51st U.S. state, has also publicly said it will not be able to pay its debts. It says that the contagion has now spread to China, the largest creditor of the bankrupt America and thus the country that will be left holding the bag. Chinese stock markets plunged by 30% in the last week, driven by retail investor selling. The retail investors know firsthand the real Chinese economy is stumbling because they are not finding overseas buyers for their industrial products. The Chinese Communist government also tried to get funds last week when it sent representatives of the Manchu imperial family to the headquarters of the Bank of Tokyo Mitsubishi UFJ, in an attempt to cash genuine historical bonds worth trillions of dollars, according to a Chinese government official. At the bank, they were met by junior officials who tried very hard to present bureaucratic obstacles to the cashing of the bond. At the end, despite the fact the bonds were genuine, the Chinese and Manchus were sent away empty-handed because recognizing the bonds would have bankrupted the Japanese government and Japanese financial system. Japan's financial system is already on the brink because of money that is being drained to postpone the bankruptcy of America. Financing America is why a recent survey by the Japanese government shows that 62.4% of Japanese say they are experiencing financial hardship. The Russians and Americans also failed last week in efforts to cash historical financial instruments because again, the old financial system simply is unable to pay genuine debts they have incurred over the years, according to Pentagon sources. That is why the first ever bankruptcy of a European country in the post-war era has added new urgency to ongoing negotiations on a new financial system, according to people involved in the negotiations. In key negotiations aimed at setting up an alternative financial system, representatives of the White Dragon Society formally sent a proposal to Japanese imperial family and Japanese government calling for the establishment of a $7 trillion fund to finance the creation of a future planning agency. Japanese imperial family and government officials approved the plan in principle but requested a more detailed, written proposal. This was sent on Monday, just before this newsletter went to press. The proposal calls for a Japanese government delegation to visit the UK, the US, EU headquarters, the Vatican, Moscow, the African Union, the Organization of Islamic Cooperation and other power centers to get formal support for the future planning agency. Informal support has already been given. The future planning agency would be very different from the World Bank and IMF or even from the just starting up BRICS Bank and Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank in that it will have a budget 70 times larger, enough to annually provide $1,000 worth of goods and services to each man, woman and child on the planet. Furthermore, while the BRICS Bank and IMF help isolate the Washington faction of the cabal, they still operate on the Babylonian debt slavery model. In other words, they lend money at interest and expect to get paid back or else they will come and seize collateral. The planning agency will operate on credit, and will not require repayment, only verification that funds are used as intended and promised. New funds will be withheld from corrupt and incompetent groups who will then wither on the vine. All that is needed for the planning agency to get funds is for government to finance it using government-issued currency. Of course, doing this would put an end to the Khazarian Mafia's near monopoly control over the creation of fiat money and thus end their Babylonian debt slavery regime. That is why we have seen a new rash of threats coming from the Khazarians. The latest was issued on Mossad-linked website like Debka, where Mossad agent Simon Elliott, aka al-Baghdadi, threatened to blow up the Egyptian pyramids and sphinx. There was also an attack on the Egyptian army last week by Israeli mercenaries pretending, and fooling nobody, to be ISIS. There were also numerous new false flag mass shooting incidents and street theater events in various countries attributed to radical Islamists, Khazarians, that have left the world public numb and indifferent. For example, British sources sent convincing evidence to this writer showing the so-called Tunisian shooting of British tourists was yet another play act. In the U.S., meanwhile, an African American was arrested for vandalizing an African American church and writing racist graffiti calling for the murder of African Americans. In other words, House slave Obama is following his Khazarian master's orders and trying to start a race war. Fortunately, the multicultural, multi-ethnic United States is no longer fertile ground for race baiting. The P2 Freemason Lodge initially sent a message to the WDS last week saying they were sick and tired of Benjamin Netanyahu and plans to get rid of him ASAP. Following upon the United Nations public labeling of this monster as a war criminal, you can be sure his days are numbered. There are also growing signs of a very systematic attack against the internet and electric infrastructure inside the United States. According to the FBI, at least 11 attacks on the internet and the U.S. electric grid have been carried out recently by very sophisticated attackers. Train derailments causing massive explosions or the release of toxic gas are also occurring at a pace of around once per week, indicating systematic sabotage against America's infrastructure. The pace of sabotage operations is expected to pick up during the coming weeks and toward the autumn. To this end, last week 2,500 highly trained Nazi mercenaries were moved from the Ukraine to Colorado for as yet uncertain reasons. These mercenaries report to Khazarian-affiliated State Department employees and not to the regular, patriotic U.S. Armed Forces. In a possibly related development, in what appears to be a desperate attempt to stop the Gnostic Illuminati-inspired revolution against the cabal, police in Koganai, Tokyo, have once again put Illuminati Grand Master Alexander Romanov into a mental hospital. There, according to family members, he has been forcibly and heavily drugged for the past 2 months. A member of his family says he was acting violently and erratically and attacking people with a baseball bat. According to him, the last time I spoke to him, he was the victim of violence and not the other way around. He certainly did have big bruises on his legs of the sort that would require a baseball bat to make. In any case, Gnostic Illuminati sources say representatives will be arriving in Japan shortly to take his place in coordinating anti-cabal activities. The WDS deplores violence and is working hard to act as a neutral intermediary between the Gnostic Illuminati and the cabal. However, if the cabal does not make real Jubilee-type concessions soon, violent, bloody, and chaotic revolution is a certainty.
Okay, a couple interesting points I want to bring in there. Interesting, he talked about dominoes falling at the beginning. We've talked about that the last 3 or 4 or 5 days. And also regarding, all the countries he mentioned, this Benjamin Fulford report was mainly about the financial reset, not just of the United States of America, but the financial reset of the whole world. And what I know of economy and economist and, the cabal set up financial system now, it's like an octopus and a spider web. They weaved it strong. It's been falling the last 3 or 4 years, and far out countries, the people don't follow the news, but it has. And now we're to the last cobweb mess up, and that's over with Greek, Europe. It's called a trilateral financial thing. I can't quote me on that word, but I do know that once it gets to Greek and Europe, it's just a matter of time for it to come to the USA, and they can't hold up. It'll have to crumble. The Economist way said 2 to 3 weeks once we see in Greek. But my thought now listening to this is, there's negotiations going on, and they have been going on, but it takes time to come to a compromise, a good, loving compromise of the world changes, the world financial reset. This is a big concept, but this is a big thing in the whole world because money is, one of the big pillars that we have lived in for a long time. So that change is very pertinent. So these negotiations going on, it could take longer than 2 or 3 weeks, and the alliance knows how to cover up. It's not going to crash, and no fear, or maybe it will, but there's no fear in that. And they planned it that way. Who knows, right? Don't put limits on it. What I'm saying, and with the automatic writing I got, if it's within the party, they say July-ish, August-ish. But here's just my prediction. It's at least at the maximum, I may be completely wrong, this year, by the end of this year, we'll see that financial reset and all of us working together, with the lack of better words, with our money all around the world in unity. Also remember and look out for, Chris brought in, I forgot his name, and he'll mention him probably tonight. Remember a couple of calls back, it might have been the last call, that the Good Guy Alliance came in and said when it's about to happen, this financial reset and the big resets of the world, turning to good, turning the bad to good for all of us. One of the signs would be they'll be protesting in Russia because there was a barge that broke in half in the sea, but people can see it, and there's a ET ship hanging out, and then there's a parade. So Russia must have did something very extraordinary. The people of Russia, to have a parade, you get together and celebrate, right? So look for those 2 signs coming up by the end of the year, and maybe you guys out there that do research, keep your eye out on Russia and what they're working on, what they're working to try to get in the country for their people. So I just wanted to give another call for Daniel. Daniel, if you're here, this is your time to come in, star 6. And does anybody else have any comments on Benjamin Fulford or any changes going on in the last week? I haven't really been following the last week. This was good news to me. Anybody want to add to that or comment? This is your time now. All you diamond facets there on the moderator line, go ahead, feel free, if you have anything.
Hey, Elizabeth?
Yes.
Yeah, it's Marianne. You read a one-liner about race baiting is not working anymore, which I'm really grateful
Absolutely, in the United States of America he was referring to. So apparently it's not. They're trying all these false flags and stuff. Yes, and that's a really good clue. We are truly expanding our consciousness and turning on in our bodies of enlightenment, you know. Thank you for bringing that in. Anybody else?
I would just like to add that I'm tuning in on an emotional level to what's going on, you know, on the ground, and, you know, and also the higher beings and this, that, and the other. And I am just getting this joy. I mean, it is so amazing. I just don't even know what to say. It's just amazing. But anyway, I just wanted to add that.
Thank you for that, Cynthia.
Yeah.
Now, I heard from Chris earlier this week, and one of our friends, Galactic-wise, has knocked on the door and would like to speak, and he had a message for all of us. And so I thought I'd bring Chris in to give us that message, and then we'll talk about it a little bit. And then we'll bring Cynthia, Marianne, and Mare in and do the astrology, probably like 35, 40 minutes. Is that good enough for you, Cynthia and Marianne, Mare, tonight? And then
Can you
we'll
repeat that? I was interrupted. What did you say?
We're going to bring our message in from our galactic brothers and sisters through Chris.
Yeah.
And we'll just ask a little questions of what we got, because he knocked on the door. Hey, he wants to come in. So we'll honor him and have him come in, and we'll get that. And then you guys, you, Marianne, and Mare, Cynthia, Marianne, bring in the astrology for this time in the now.
The astrology is very, very good. Yeah.
And they give you about 35, 40 minutes for you guys to do that, and then we'll bring Chris back to bring. How's that sound? Good?
It sounds absolutely marvelous.
Okay, great. Okay, Chris, come on in. And, oh, by the way, Mare had a question for you before we get started, Chris. Mare, start.
Okay.
Mare, are you there?
Hi, Chris. It's Mare.
Hello.
Hi. I was just going to ask, the last time you were on, you really gave us some really good information from Jesus and John the Baptist, and they were like brief statements, but they were really powerful to meditate on. And I wondered if you wrote those down by any chance?
Okay,
you commented, Chris, you were writing them down. Yeah, when we were in the house thing.
Okay, yeah, I did write those down, as I was going along.
I wonder if there'd be a way to share them with Elizabeth, or somehow just to jot them down, and that way we could all meditate on them.
Oh, yeah, I could do that. I could type them up.
Yeah, type them up and just send them to all the Rainbow Diamond Councils. We're all on there.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
much.
Make
sure you have Mare.
Yeah. So powerful. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And I just want to make sure you have Mare's email too, Chris. And then if I want to ask your permission, can I blog those too? Yeah.
Oh, sure. You can blog any of my information I put up.
Okay, great. That's great. Okay, it's your facet here on the diamonds, Chris. Go for it. We'll bring in the special message from, what's his name?
This was Tyler this time. Yeah, and when he spoke to us off show about certain things before, pertaining to, like, say, full disclosure and stuff, he told me, while we were all talking, that he kept showing me images in my head of him showing up to gatherings we were all at, like we weren't expecting it. So and I asked him to elaborate, and he wouldn't at that particular time. But then he came back yesterday, and he elaborated towards, him and I said on a previous show that him and I go back and forth and debate things on full disclosure. Well, I get impatient from time to time, and I said, okay, what's the timetable here? And, and I asked this very same thing of Valiant Thor as well. But Valiant Thor gave me a timetable of 2 to 3 years. But Tyler said his answer was a little more on a spiritual note. His was his phrase was, he took a phrase from the Bible that said everything happens for a reason all things happen for a reason under heaven, or something to that effect. I'd have to look at the notes again. But he said that when they've been reiterating from time to time that there has to be a slow integration of certain philosophies, like what we do on the call here. This is how full disclosure will really take hold and stick. He was telling me that not to be so impatient towards the world that we want is still within our grasp, but he was telling me that it has to happen on specific timetables, and that we will know these specific timetables, like the previous information I gave, like with Russia, like with the parades and all of that. But he hinted at the fact that at some point we would actually see him, and we would actually encounter him. He didn't go into an overt amount of detail, but since they're obeying these very strict timetables. But they can bump up a couple timetables too when other things improve. Like say today the Cabal / Illuminati would collapse, God willing. Say the remaining percentile of the elite go away, then that timetable could be stepped up considerably. But it doesn't mean that they would just throw everything at us, like all their technology, all their information. That would just cause too much of a humongous cluster. So what he told me is the reason he brought up that biblical line is because he was pretty much telling me to show more patience in regards to full disclosure. And Valiant Thor told me the same thing. Now that this Star Trek world, as I've come to nickname it, will happen, but my guide Simeon told me that the Cabal still has this level of technology, the remaining Cabal people. From what I understand it, they're only at maybe 4 to 6 to 8% of their original power level. They're not near as strong as they used to be. But that's what Tyler and Valiant Thor have been reiterating to me. They're nowhere near as powerful. Especially from the fact of a lot of the stuff we've been doing on the call here.
Let me make some just clarification before you go further. Tyler said that we're going to be meeting him face to face regarding these future things that we saw that we'll be doing towards disclosure. Is that what you said? Is that what he said?
Yes. He would show up at a personal gathering. He would show up at before he went public. Completely.
Absolutely. Thank you.
He would show up in a place where we all were first.
Glory.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
He would show there in person, and I actually, in the vision sequence, got to see how tall this man actually is.
Well, prepare us, Chris. Describe him again. Prepare us and just describe all of him, and yeah.
Yeah, he is probably, it looked to me like he was almost 7 feet tall. And he was in a red uniform with a golden sash with like these silvery shimmers in it. Kind of reminds me of Lieutenant Worf's sash from Star Trek Next Generation. Everybody knows what that is in the first season sash. And he was in a red uniform, like I want to say kind of like a jumpsuit looking uniform, a one-piecer. It still reminded me of a lot of Star Trek uniform type thing. And he has long brown hair and hazelish eyes, and he's fairly he's in good shape. He's not he's not like Arnold big. He's not big like that. He's in shape. He he looks like he's lifted weights and such. And he told me he's never done anything of the sort, that it's just the food that they eat there. Because see, here the cabal puts a bunch of junk in the food so that we are sick all the time. There, they replicate their food, and all of the bad stuff's completely filtered out. So their food, they don't need to even brush their teeth. Their food cleans their teeth for them.
Wow. Can I reiterate something very? It's been strong in my heart at least these last 4 days. Regarding food and all the poison they put in our food and everything's bad for you. Well, if you will, and it's your choice, it's my choice. A man believeth, what a man believeth, that's who he is, or whatever. So guess what I do? I have the faith, knowing who I am. Anything I eat, I tell myself, when this goes to my body, it neutralizes it, and it's good for me. I try to eat good food, yes, but if I don't, the circumstances and all that, that's what I do. I don't talk about poison the food. No, we are creators. Learn who you really are and work on that faith muscle. Maybe you can just think about this. Let this seed be planted. As you work, just like muscles in your body, as you work on that faith in every little tiny situation, think of simple situations. Those muscles get bigger and bigger. Remember who you really are. Sorry about that. I really needed to, and I'm not sorry. I wanted to share that. Thank you. Sorry, Chris. Go ahead.
Okay, that's okay. Yeah, I completely agree with that. When I always ask Tyler and his people why all their people are in good shape. Yeah, I mean they're all like these Nordic looking people, and there's not a chunky one among them. And I said, how? And he told me that it's their belief system for one, like what you said, and two, it's the food. They make sure that it's safe, and you could even eat something that is really high in all technically what they say all the bad stuff is, but usually means that's good, anything with any sort of flavor in it. But he said you could even eat something that is probably considered to be the worst for you, and it would have the same exact nutritional value as something that's considered healthy. Yeah, that's how they replicate their food. So everything is the same on that level. And he says also the air content. He said the air content was a big factor. On his big city ship, there are no pollutants in the air. There's like a generous amount, a little bit of a generous amount of what we need in the air to like build up our tolerance, like it would be inside a planetary atmosphere, just not with any of the technological pollution or anything like that. And their air is clean. They actually grew trees on board their ships so that they don't have to rely completely on their air supply, mechanical-wise. They have their own self-generating water supply, which their replicator systems take the oxygen and hydrogen molecules and just keep creating water, and it recycles back into itself all the time. They don't have to take the resources of any planet. It's just created out of thin air. And these are the technologies. This is the things that Tyler and me debate on, a lot. And this is how I was getting impatient. It's like, I want to be that. I'll be with that, And he goes, and that's why he kept going, patience, it will be there. And that's when I asked him, it's like, does the enemy have this technology? And he says, yes. And that's where I got kind of, I was upset when I heard that. I'm like, why are they allowed to have this? And he says they really aren't, but then he brought back there's a reason for everything under heaven. He says the reason these people exist are to show everybody else in the known universe how good they can be by seeing their dark mirror. And that's the purpose of the Cabal to begin with, is that's everybody's dark mirror that we aspire not to be. and what we know not to do and how not to act.
That's beautiful. Yes. I can't, and Cynthia, I know will say couldn't say that 1,000 times more. We all got to learn that, and if you can learn that, you'll have the revelation of now that you know it and you're awake, just change your perspective, just like how you think of food. Don't worry. Don't even pay attention to the poison in there. Pay attention to your faith and your faith muscle. Build those muscles. Yeah. So you still haven't got to the message, right? Go ahead, Chris. I don't mean to keep you off track.
That was the message that he was saying, that he would show up to a personal gathering first. That was the surprise. But there was also another. Not necessarily, this next part necessarily wasn't from him. There was something I got during the day yesterday from a group of, first I couldn't see what they looked like. Now, this is also another way to not judge a book by its cover. There's a species I ran into that called themselves the Simta. And the Simta looked like, I couldn't see what they looked like completely because they were in a back cave area, so I shined a light on them. And they looked like human-sized bats, but they didn't look like the subterranean beings that people see here on Earth. These were different, and they communicated me with really, like they had panic in their energy. And I asked them, "What's wrong?" And they said they were hiding from the Drago. And I said, "Okay." I was like, "Why are you so terrified?" And they said they were going after their people. And I said, and I was trying to explain to them about fear energy drawing them in. And so I communicated with them later last evening. And they just wanted me to take a look outside of where they were barricaded in to see if any of the Drago were still around. And I did. They had them. So I saw there was this cave they were in. The Simta were in, that they had barricaded themselves with a bunch of rocks that they had sealed together, and they were hiding underground. And I noticed a ship, overhead, looking for them. And I talked to the commander of this ship to try to urge him to go to leave those people alone. And and the whole ship of these Drago were just laughing, and they were real nasty kind, And then just like always, I pulled the Law of One out on them, and it's like they never expect this every single time. They just do not expect this coming from a human. Some of them don't see humans as equals to themselves. So when somebody comes up with something like this, they just stop and pause. And the whole ship of these Drago heard this. And then they all stopped, and then their commander comes forward, and him and I actually talked for a little bit, and he ended up jumping sides after that. Him and his entire crew jumped sides, and then they agreed to go look for other Drago and repeat the Law of One to all of them.
Oh, my God. That's awesome. You're passing it galactic-wise, Chris. That's great. You pulled the Law of One out like a weapon. It is a weapon of love.
Yeah, and they thought that was interesting, and I noticed that they even change. Like some Drago that I run across have like this strange, like eerie, like fog that comes out of their almost like out of their skin pores, like this black, junk that comes out of their skin. But when I use that on them, that completely goes away, and they look normal. They look almost human at that point. Their scales light up, not light up, but lighten up, and they look almost human, if not for the scales after that. And that's how they're supposed to look. But except if they weren't, feeding off the fear energy of people, they look very much like us. Just a little taller. But this whole crew and this commander, the commander called himself Sarsis, and Sarsis promised me that he would leave those Simta alone, and he took him and a couple other ships of Drago with him, and then the Simta came out of their cave, and they were grateful that they could walk around in the sunlight again. And that's how that ended, and I thought that was pretty cool.
That was beautiful. And what it showed, we've been doing the Law of One with our galactic brothers and sisters as a group together. And this just shows everybody, and have faith, build your faith muscle. This just shows everybody it only takes one person. Look what Chris did, pulling out the Law of One, and he changed a lot, just him alone. But, and again, it's unity. We're going to unity and grouping together. But the root of that is don't have fear. Come on, learn who you really are, and you are really powerful. Well, I was wondering, and then we'll go to Cynthia, Chris, if we could call in Tyler, and I want to visit with Tyler a little bit more on the Diamonds Rainbow Council regarding his visit, just to, be prepared, preparation for the awesome reunion. But I would want to see if we could call him in regarding, is there any prayer we could pray regarding to help disclosure, since we're on here live?
Okay. Yeah, he's actually been sitting here with me the entire time. So
let me tell you, Tyler, I thought I hope you're going to let me give you a great big hug and a kiss and a woohoo when I see you. Is that okay?
Yeah, and he was smiling, and I can see him. And let's see. Yeah, he's giving me an affirmation. I'll write this down as I'm actually talking. He's saying, this is an affirmation. He says, I'll write this down before I say it first.
And just as you know, everybody, while Chris is writing that down, we're going to finish this part up, and then Cynthia, Marianne, and Mare will come on, and we'll do the astrology part of now, what we're in now and going into. And then after that, Chris will come back with what he's going to bring, and then then we're going to bring in some, if you want to meet your guides or have a question at the end, and that's just the format. So don't think we left you out. It's just how the format's going tonight. So love you guys, and persevere. If it were me and you're really into this and your heart is open, you want to really learn who you really are, and everybody says time, too much time. Well, if you're motivated in yourself, go high or hell water, that this is all you want. You want enlightenment, you want to be who you really are, and you want to leave this old world behind, then, you would be there. There's many times I've listened to calls that are 3-4 hours because I want to know who I am. I'm tired of this world. This doesn't matter anymore. We've learned our lesson, and we're still learning our lesson in the transition. But let's change our perspective, and let's change our heart up and look towards the positive, and that's you first, in you, then through you to the world. Love y'all. Go ahead, Chris.
Okay, yeah, this is what he said. This is fairly short. He says, this is the affirmation he gave me. I am the change and the wisdom I wish to be in the moment. Blessed be.
Say that one more time, please.
Okay. I am the change and the wisdom I wish to be in the moment.
Excellent.
Okay, that was a comma in there. Sorry, after wisdom. I am the change and the wisdom I wish to be in the moment. Blessed be. Okay.
Beautiful. Is there anything, you talking about the disclosure, and it could, something, 3 tiers to disclosure could collapse because, something came into unity and went faster than thought. Is there anything that we can pray for tonight? Just one thing for disclosure, or if there is anything that he feels on his heart that we can help with.
He's actually joking right now. He's saying, pray for Chris to be more patient about it.
Oh! Well, we'll include that in our prayer, not just Chris, but everybody else in the world.
Yeah, because him and I said, always debate back and forth, and so that's basically telling me to stop it. Just wait. And I'm like, okay. Now he's being serious. He goes,
okay.
He's saying, just pray for what we have been doing. Just continue to do what we are doing. Laugh. Use love energy. Use the law of one. he says, go after the Drago whenever he possibly can, and he was kind of chuckling when he said that too. And he says, all is well. Just see everything as all is well, even though, the way the world is, sucks. He goes, I'm not going to lie. He goes, I don't know how other humans now, Earther humans, live the way they do. But he says, just see it as better. See as you living in that Star Trek-ish world
yes.
that we want to have.
Yeah, it sucks even worse when you're awake in it,
Uh-huh.
Okay, well, namaste, Tyler, and we are going to pray what you brought in. And Cynthia, could you lead us in prayer, in the prayer of one, for patience for Chris and the whole world, all of us, and for being in the now, having faith, building our faith muscle, and having fun in it. And that phrase, read that phrase again, Chris, he wrote to us.
Okay, he said, I am the change and the wisdom I wish to be in the moment. Blessed be.
Wow. Cynthia, are you there?
Oh, yeah, I'm right here.
Could you do it this way, so that incorporate the prayer one in all those subjects, but incorporate the prayer one in all those subjects in a little meditation for all of us, like 3, 4, 5 minutes?
Yeah, I'd love to. Okay,
here we go, guys. Everybody
But I need to preface it. I need to preface it.
Yeah. Okay, I'll talk to him for a minute.
I want everybody to take this really seriously. Okay? You need to get your spine straight right now. Whatever you need to do to get your spine straight. You can do it laying down or sitting up, but get your spine straight. And when we do the law of one, it's very important to the collective and to the ETs that you take your full authority as a son or daughter of God and nothing else. I mean, after we do the prayer, if you want to be so-and-so's wife or, so-and-so's daughter or, from this country or that, whatever identity you want to take on after we do the prayer is fine. But for the sake of the prayer, I'm asking you to go naked and go real into your divinity, into your sonship or daughtership with God. And in this instance, if we had to define the word God, it would contain 3 words. One word would be omnipotent, and that means all-powerful. It comes from Latin, where omni means all and potency means power. It is the whole beingness of divine omnipotence. And another word is omniscience, and that's omni again, Latin, and scio, sciri, which is to know. And it means all-knowingness. It's the mind of God. Omnipotence is the will of God, the power of God, the intention. And omniscience is the mind that formulates the desire. And then the final word and the third word is omnipresence. And omni again, omni, it means everywhere. And presence is being everywhere, all at once. And I will guarantee you that you are. I will guarantee you. It is a scientific fact. And there's been decades and decades of research. And I will tell you, you are everywhere present. Whether you realize it or not, whether you remember it or not, whether you believe in it or not, whether you understand it or not, at some point, every one of us will realize, oh my God, I am one with everything, and everything is one with me. So for the purpose of doing the law of one, I'm asking everyone to trigger their occult powers that come from divinity, that come from enlightenment. Because another guarantee I will make is that you're already enlightened. if you weren't, your heart wouldn't beat. You couldn't breathe. You couldn't digest your food. You wouldn't have dreams at night. And you've taken on this amazing journey to transmute it and transform it with the power of the Word. And that's where we are right now with this council tonight, is we are going to create what we want, irrespective of anything that is logical or illogical. We are creating what we want tonight as if magic were a common everyday occurrence. We are going to pray the law of one tonight to bring about the ultimate harmony of everything in creation, inside of us and outside of us, the infinitely small and the infinitely large, from the one to the many and the many to the one. Harmony and justice for even the least creature, even those small particles in the Hadron Collider. Harmony for them, because you know what? They're God too. And they could be minute worlds. They could be whole solar systems and worlds being smashed in those underground colliders. Because if you look at our planet and our solar system in comparison to what our cameras can see, we are very small. And there could be whole worlds as much small to us as we are to what we can see in the vast reaches of space. And that is indeed what the teachings are. And the teachings are that we are all one being. And that's the law of one. And when you say the law of one, and you take on your sonship or your daughtership with the one being, and this is a radical statement, but I'm going to stand by it, is you have omnipotence. You have all power. And I can say that for a lot of different reasons. But one of the reasons is it's a lawful reason. It has to do with the laws of, and those laws have to do with the difference of God being a rock or a plant or an animal or a human being or a nature spirit or a planet or a solar system or a subatomic particle. Everything is God, guaranteed. But if you happen to be the part of God in a human form, you have dominion by the very nature of the fact that you can determine reality. You can materialize and dematerialize anything. Just like Jesus multiplied the loaves and the fishes and fed the multitudes, he said, all that I do, ye shall do and more. All of it. They had to leave the truth out there. They could confuse it and scramble it, but they had to leave it out there. So when we say the law of one, my request is that for just a few moments, y'all can do this, okay? And it's not illegal. Set aside your limited self-concepts. Set them aside just for a moment while we do the law of one, and just adorn yourself. Put on the beautiful flowing raiment of your divinity that is eternal and immortal and one with the Father, one with the Mother, one with everything. Omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient. So with that, let's do it, everybody. Let's take a deep, I want to do 3 deep breaths. And here's the deal, okay? Your spine is straight. It better be. Get your spine straight. You guys are reincarnated yogis. You've spent lifetimes doing the breath number. And the booms in the background, my neighbors are setting off for fireworks. But anyway, Take 3 deep breaths where you breathe into the count of 10. You hold to the count of 10. You breathe out to the count of 10, and you hold to the count of 10. Do this 3 times, and do it slow, guys. Pretend you're filling your stomach with air when you breathe in, and when you breathe out, like I'm going to breathe out right now, it goes, and you think you're done. No, you're not. Breathe out even more, like this. Watch. Okay, I'm going to breathe in. Okay, I'm going to breathe out. Now I think I'm done, right? But I'm going to breathe out more. Totally collapse. And then when you breathe in, totally fill it up. Pretend you're blowing your stomach up. And do this 3 times where you breathe in to the count of 10. You hold to the count of 10. You breathe out to the count of 10 and hold the count. And you'll feel the difference in your body and in your body chemistry. And then we'll do the law of 1. Okay, so do the 3 perfect breaths starting now. I'm going to mute out because I'm going to be doing them too.
One of the moderators has to mute out, please. Sorry.
Okay, keep doing the breath, y'all. This is important. And this, I'm telling you it's important as a general rule, but I'm also telling you it's important because, and this, I'm not making it up, Vulcan's stationed today at 8 Cancer, 1 degree away from Mars. And while y'all are breathing, let me tell you what that is. Vulcan's stationed at the place of divine breath, of the science of breathing, of Hatha Yoga, Kundalini Yoga, where they do the pranayamas, the breathing, because it regulates the body. You can regulate the body that way. And it's 1 degree away from Mars. And Mars is at 9 Cancer, which is Oramos, which is occult faculties, which we're going to bring into bear during the law of 1. And then at 15 Cancer, the sun today, in fact tonight, I did this chart for about an hour ago, is at the place of dematerialization and materialization. So when you're doing the law of 1, I'm really serious, and I beg of you to just wrap your brain around and your heart around the concept of doing miracles. I mean hardcore miracles, like you hear of Christ and the Buddha and the great teachers. They all said, I'm no different from you, and I'm just here as a regular average bear to show you what you can do when you go into enlightenment, and that enlightenment is the only game in town. It's the only thing worth doing. Because once you get enlightenment, you can do things the easy way with these occult powers. You can heal the sick, you can raise the dead, you can make the plants to bloom and blossom, you can make the blind to see, you can walk on the water, you can transmute all the radiation and all the chemtrails and everything as a divine being. So that having been said, I think everybody's ready now. Keep your spine straight, close your eyes, and y'all, if you're in a time zone where it's after dark, please do yourself a break. You'll save money every month to boot. Keep the lights dim after sunset. Just Google that. It's how you produce melatonin. If you will just mimic nature to where when the sun goes down you have dim lighting. Now, if you want to read a book, just have a a little light just for you, but let the main room be dark or dim, candlelight, low LEDs, and you'll produce melatonin, which is an anti-aging, very expensive supplement. And you'll be producing it free through your own bodies. And you'll also be able to work with your pineal gland, because melatonin is a key component to the kind of work you and I are doing right now. So we're going to do the law of one now.
Okay.
What you're going to hear with me is the Bug Tabernacle Choir in the background. The July bugs are magnificent. But anyway, just go within your being as a divine son or daughter of God and realize that you have dominion over everything in creation. And everything in creation is fire, air, water, and earth. It's all desires in creation. That's fire. All thoughts in creation, that's air. All emotions in creation, that's water. And all physical manifestations in creation, that's earth. And that's true with your own body and with the outer, because we're one with everything. So starting now, we call in the living flame of divine love to be with us now. We call in universal consciousness to be present in our awareness. And we ask everything in creation, fire, air, water, and earth, to come and be with us now. Everything on the desire plane, every desire that could ever be desired, through all time and all space, to come and be with us now. Everything on the mental plane, every thought that could ever be thunk, through any time and space, anywhere, to come and be with us now. Every emotion that could be felt, through all time and space, to come and be with us now. And every physical reality that could ever be, through time and space, to come and be with us now. And we thank you for coming. O power of endlessness. These infinities of infinities, we thank you for coming. And we ask for your highest good. Because we're thankful for your beingness, we're thankful that you exist. We thank you for all the experiences and the opportunities and the wisdom gained from your existence. So we thank you and we love you. And we're asking for your highest good. Because we are all one. So repeat after me. We are all one. Unmute. Or you don't have to unmute. Just stay in your space. When one is harmed, all are harmed.
All are harmed. When one is harmed, all are harmed.
When one is helped in any way, all are helped.
When one is helped in any way, all are helped.
Therefore, in the name of who I am.
Therefore, in the name of who I am.
And I am one with all there is.
And I am one with all there is.
I ask that only the highest good.
I ask that only the highest good
of all concerned happen.
Of all concerned happen.
And I give thanks.
And I give thanks
that this is done.
That this is done.
So be it.
So be it.
And so it is.
And so it is.
And I want you guys to still stay in that space, because I want Cynthia to lead us in an imaginary meditation. I'll start it out. Imagine, did you have an idol of a superhero when you were growing up or now? Just imagine, bring that superhero image into you now. And imagine you jumping into that superhero. You can be that superhero for now, that one that was your idol. And as you grow in who you really are, that superhero will morph into your unique superhero-ness. And for 30 seconds, 40 seconds, I want you to imagine you being that superhero and that uniqueness of that superhero, and you doing miracles and wonders in love out with the people in the world or inside your home, if that's your superhero miracle working power. So imagine for 30 seconds taking your divinity, being that supernatural, natural self that you are, and just imagining it for 30 seconds with you. And then, Cynthia, just take it from there for another minute or two. Thank you, hon. Starting now.
Now, as you're doing this, just flow into your own body. Do a body scan. Do a physical body scan about your physical health. Check your feet, your legs, your knees, your pelvis, your mid-region, your lung region, your neck, your head, and flood it with divine love. Thank every cell for being your body, and flood it with divine love. Just flood it with the beautiful colors of love. And see every cell just greedily gobbling up this love and using it to be the very best cell that it can possibly be. So for 30 seconds, imagine your own love light burning, and you're loving your own physical body with rapture and ecstasy, with a burning love of such wonder and awe at your own body. Every cell in it, there's like 72 trillion cells. See every cell just being flooded with your love. So let's do this for 30 seconds, starting now. And now, as you're doing this, keep flooding the body, every cell, with love. Just go in your heart, and it's got to be irrational, crazy, insane love. You just love so deeply. And as you're loving every cell in your body for being your body and allowing you to be here in a body, add to it the love of your emotions, all of them that you've ever had, ever since you were a little kid, and even when you were in your mommy's womb. Every emotion. Because these emotions give us vitality. They give us an acute sense of being alive, even the bad ones. And flood every emotion that you've ever had with this love. Just see the emotions themselves with this love from your heart. For 30 seconds. All the emotions you've ever had. All the beautiful times of love. The fun. Being loved. And even the tears. And the loneliness. And keep doing this. You're doing your physical selves and you're doing your emotions together. And we're going to add another one. Expand it to be every thought that you've ever thunk or ever read about or heard from other people. That you just have this love and you're loving every thought. The beautiful ones, the silly ones, the negative ones. Just you're loving them because they are thoughts and you can think. And because they exist, you can think, and it's wonderful to have thoughts, and you're sending them love. And go back into the emotions and love everybody else's emotions that they've ever loved while you're loving your own, while you're loving your body. And as you're loving your body still, you're loving everyone else's bodies, the humans, the animals, the plants, minerals, everything. And now as you're doing the physical, the emotions, and the thoughts of yourself and everything and everyone else, we add the final one, which is loving all your own desires, all the desires you've ever had, or ever will have, or ever could have. And you're just loving them because you're so glad that you have your choice of all these desires, that all these desires exist, and that you've been able to experience them. And you've gained all this experience. And now let us imagine all of our love breaking banks and merging together in a huge fusion explosion where a bunch of humans on planet Earth fused their love together. They broke banks of their individual love and they all flooded together, and suddenly we were loving everything. Inside of us and outside of us. Just everything's getting flooded with our love. So for 30 seconds, let's be with this flooding of love. All our ancestors, all our genetics, all our lifetimes, everything we've ever thought, everything we've ever desired, everything we've ever felt, everything we've ever been, and everyone else too. We're just flooding it with love. And as you do this, I'm going to add a prayer, and that is that this love conquers all. It conquers everything. No matter what it is, or where it is, or how it is, or even if it is, it conquers everything. Everything is just flooded with it, and it just gets hit with it, and it has to deal with it. Maybe it doesn't know what to do with it, but the love doesn't stop. It just keeps going. And it conquers everything. Everything is just transfixed with it. And as this love conquers everything, silently, just whisper to everything as it's being conquered, the law of one. And I'll say it out loud for those that don't remember it. Just whisper to everything that's being conquered by love. We are all one, beloved. And when one is harmed, all of us feel it. And when one is helped, blessed, enlightened, all of us feel it. Therefore, in the name of who I am, and I am one with all there is, including you. I ask that only the highest good of all concerns happen. And I give thanks that this is done. So be it. And I ask our brothers and sisters on all spheres and planes, galaxies and dimensions to do this too with us. And let us absolutely have a supernova throughout all creation of love that whispers the law of one as it conquers absolutely everything. So Elizabeth, I turn it back over to you. Just call me back on when you're ready.
Just stay here. Stay here.
That
was beautiful, very beautiful. And Tyler may have been kidding, but I'm going to take it and run with it. So I just add to all this conquering patience. So I pray for patience for Chris and for all of us, that our patience will turn into the highest good of all concerned. Yes, with the law of one. And that was beautiful. I don't know about anybody else, Cynthia, but as we're loving all of our bodies, I felt myself expanding out of my body. And then I imagined all of us fusing together as big bubbles, and we're all above the earth, and we all fused together and blew up in a supernova, and what blew up was confetti. I saw a rainbow ribbon going through all of us. And then when we blew up in the supernova, confetti, all different colors of confetti, all different colors of balloons, confetti and balloons floating down to Earth, the whole Earth. That's beautiful. Thank you, Cynthia. Okay, Cynthia, let's continue with, we got about, let's see, probably till 9:30. You go for it, girl, and your team, and our team all together.
Okay, so repeat that again. I didn't hear it.
What again?
What you just said.
When I was imagining in my meditation?
No, something about 9:30, because I was...
we got about 9:30 for you and Marianne and Mare, so that's about 40 minutes, 35, 40 minutes.
So
is
in
that
40
good?
minutes you want us to come on?
No, I want you to have 40 minutes now.
Oh, good. That works.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry, there was a slight interruption.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that very last thing. Well, that works perfectly for me.
Yes.
And what I want to do is just touch in. I want to put everybody on notice and warn you that this month we're going to have a blue moon, which is the second full moon. It only happens like every 2.5 years. And this blue moon is happening. Let me get my glasses on. And Marianne, I'm going to ask your help in reading just a few of these things. We're just going to touch on a few basic things about this full moon. But one of the things about this full moon is that there's going to be radical, unexpected things to happen. And the law of one that we did tonight is going to drastically change the nature of these radical, unexpected things. The fact that there's radical, unexpected things will be the same. But because we did the prayer tonight, the radical, unexpected things are going to be, I think, very laughter enhancing. You know what? I think more and more people are just going to crack up with laughter. We're going to be laughing at ourselves, at what's happened, at the stupid things we were planning. I mean, for example, you know, a lot of these people doing the plans, like I'm 66, okay? They may be in their 30s, they could be in their 20s, they could be in their 40s, 50s. And the Chinese people don't even consider you an adult till you're 60. And really the Islamic too. And because there's whole societies on this planet who live hundreds of years old, it's been hidden from us. And this is some of the revelations we're going to have. And amazing inventions are coming online now. We're going to go, this is my belief. It's not what we've been taught, because the matrix that we've been taught has been to make as much money off of as many people as possible while they suffer, while convincing them that you love them and that you're doing it for their own good. And part of the truth that's going to be revealed is that we really are divine beings, and we don't have to age, and we don't have to get sick, and we don't have to die physically. But then there's going to be corresponding revelations about our emotions and corresponding inventions and interventions and whatever you want to call it, where we realize very great joy. Just amazing joy. And a full range of emotions, but they are joyful emotions. And again, fire, air, water, and earth, the whole thought thing going on about what history is or what reality is or who everybody is or what everybody is, all that's really going to be in our rear view mirror. And everything we ever thought we knew is going to become irrelevant. And we're going to go into cosmic transcendence as divine beings who suddenly wake up from a nightmare and go, oh my goodness, Jesus was right, you know, Buddha was right, you know.
Cynthia?
Yeah.
This is Annie. Can I ask you something? On T-Mobile, when I have the volume all the way up, I can hardly hear you.
I don't know what to say.
Such a beautiful, soft voice. I don't know what's going on. But
it's just probably my lousy phone.
Okay.
But it's the best I can do.
Okay, so I don't know if you're...
Annie, try to turn your volume up on the phone, too.
Oh,
I don't know.
I have it all the way up.
Well, you know, another good thing, Annie, is that this is being recorded. And when you go back to the archives, which will be up real quick, you can turn the volume way up.
Oh, if I listen to it on the computer.
Yeah.
Okay.
And subconsciously and superconsciously, you wrote the book. I mean, everything I'm saying you already know.
Right. Thank you.
And you could probably, you know, say it better than me.
No, that's not true.
Well, now wait a minute. We could argue that. But nonetheless.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, yeah, so there is remedy. It just means patience, as Chris was saying. So, Marianne, I'm looking at the full moon chart. It's July 31st. It's at 6:43 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So that'll be different if you're in Central Time Zone or whatever. But it's in the morning of July 31st. We're having a full moon event that is going to restore the fertility of the earth. They've done everything to make the seeds infertile, our young women infertile. They've got these huge seed banks where they're saving the good seeds after they make everything else out here die. And this full moon event chart is coming up real soon, the 31st, this month. It's going to restore the fertility in everyone and everything, according to the original divine blueprints. So I was wondering if you don't mind to read the North Node, which is 4 degrees Libra, which is the heavenly host of fertility. Because this is going to be the outcome of this full moon coming up in a few weeks. And give your comments, too, what you're picking up on.
Okay, I'm right here.
Great.
Okay. 4 degrees Libra. Noga, the angels of fertility. Beloved, we are the heavenly hosts who control fertility upon earth. Through the qualities of our name, Noga, the conditions that concern fertility are successfully addressed, including impotence and sterileness. Whenever a child is desired, we respond. Happiness and transmutation into perfection. Grace and mercy, enlightenment and transformation are combined with the power of the Word to create an incarnation for the child of light and flowing love. There are many things we teach concerning fertility. Through the virtues of Noga, we teach children of light and love how to enhance the vibrations of the sexual field between men and women. We teach how to stay fertile until an advanced age. And it was our intervention from the direction of providence that allowed John the Baptist to be born to his mother, who was beyond the normal age of conception. The key to fertility can be found by meditating on the divine qualities of our name, Noga, the angels of fertility, 4 degrees Libra. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Marianne, is there anything you're picking up on this?
It's just God and us.
Yeah.
That's what I feel.
Yeah, me too.
And Annie, it's good to hear your voice.
Oh, God, Annie, thank you for coming on. I just needed to hear your voice.
We've been talking about you in a good way, and I'm so glad to hear your voice.
We've been missing you, girl.
Yes.
Hey, y'all, everybody, just give us a break here. We need to do a group hug. So everybody just feel yourself shooting up above the earth, and you're up above the earth, and you're glowing in your light body, and let's shoot up above the earth, and let's see each other, and we come together, and let's do one huge group hug. Starting now, group hug. Just imagine it. And just let that hug come into your bones. And just feel your love going to everybody and their love. And let's ask the sun to join us, and the earth to join us, and all the planets to join us, and just anyone who wants to join us in this group hug. Just feel all this love. And let's see this love conquering whatever is left of the false intelligence, of the artificial intelligence. It has conquered all the inventions and technologies, physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, is now being flooded with this love of our group hug. And just silently to yourself say to everything, as we're hugging, just silently to yourself, to everything, the law of one. And let's continue to hug as everybody silently says the law of one to everything. Whoa, that is nice. Now, Mir, is y'all can stay up there group hugging, but Mir, while they're group hugging, like a lullaby in the background, can you read where the sun, this is where the sun's going to be on this full moon chart. Okay, Mir, if you would read 8 degrees Leo.
Okay, 8 degrees Leo.
Yep.
Okay, 8 degrees Leo is Roma Sara, the angels of breath. Beloved, through the divine virtues of the letters of our name, we teach an ancient science of breathing. Creation occurs through breath. Breath radiates frequencies and imbues creation with delta, theta, alpha, and beta information codes, carrying information of spiritual electric fire, willpower, mind, magnetic water feelings of the heart, and senses of the physical realm. The power of breath in relation to creation is similar to the power of a sperm relative to egg. Breath impregnates reality. Through conscious breathing, a child of light creates. Follow your inward guidance. Co-create with divine being. See through eyes of love so that your breath transmutes reality into perfection and brings inspiration to all. Merge with feelings that come from meditating on the original purity of all ideas in universal mind. Release imperfections for transformation into whatever is the highest good of all. As your breath is filled with wisdom, know that omnipotence, indwelling in all creation, takes your breath and magnifies it. Become aware of the power of breath. Teach yourself to keep a normal rhythm as protection from breathing problems. When using the power of the word, breathe in and out through the pores of the skin over the parts of your body that correspond to the virtue at the same time you breathe through the nose. Utilize the lessons of Kagaros, 7 degrees Leo, to visualize clearly whatever you are creating and attracting. Do this in consciousness with the virtue of unlimited power and faith, letter K. Combine the visual image with contemplation of its meaning. In this way, generating wonderful feelings of your visualization. Now add sensations and send it out with your breath. On the out-breath, will, through visualization and feelings, the virtue, moving outward and filling whatever inner guidance directs. An object, a person, a place, a situation, or even all of the universes. Listen carefully to providential guidance. Breath is powerful. For example, in a special moment, you might be guided to visualize and feel virtues that completely transmute even the earth and sun. Your out-breath would impregnate the earth and sun. Then you would visualize these virtues pouring back into your own body from earth and sun on the in-breath. Keep the rhythm of breath natural. If you feel guided to send healing vital energy to a loved one, Visualize the olive green light of all the divine virtues taken together, the letter L, shining in the lung area, and flow with feelings of splendor and majesty of divine being. Sense the vitality, youthfulness, and desire to live that this virtue enlivens. Breathe this life energy through the pores of skin, over the spleen, and intend for it to flow outward to the loved one, visualizing and feeling the joy of this life force healing and strengthening them. Always intend that this occurs for their highest good, keeping the breathing rhythm natural. On the in-breath, visualize and feel this beautiful vitality coming back into your own body through the same pores. See the loved one radiantly healthy, full of life and energy. Follow your guidance. Use visualization, contemplation, flowing feelings, and sensations sent through conscious breathing. In this way, deity breathe life into all creation. As one matures in understanding and wisdom, he or she gains the ability to use breath to send and attract conscious energy to create miracles for humankind. For humankind has been given dominion over all that is created. We protect each person by inspiring the use of breath according to the law of one. We remind you that when one is harmed, all are harmed. When one is helped, all are healed. Through conscious breath, remarkable miracles are birthed into form. In this way, heaven is established on earth as has been intended from the beginning, on earth as it is in heaven. All that I do, you shall do and more. Roma Sara, the angels of breath.
Okay, now before we read the moon, which is opposite that, Vulcan, which stationed today, will be at 7 Leo, and the rising sign will be at 6 Leo. So, Mir, we're really supposed to read also 7 Leo. You just read 8. So could you please read the one before that?
Okay, yeah, the one before. I'm sorry about that, but that was a really good one. Okay, 7 degrees Leo. Kagaros, the angels of air. Beloved, by experiencing self as one with all, original omnipotence is regained. This is done in the deep delta state, dormant in infancy. You must be as little children to enter the kingdom of heaven. Ask to remember yourself at this age. Realize that you are always this pure being at the core. This is the first step in creating, because you are experiencing yourself as one with everything and are willing the highest good of all. Everything will join in your creation. After this, as you return your will for the highest good, the next necessary step in this process of creating is to form an image clearly in your mind. A visual blueprint seen in the imagination. Forming a visual image in the mind's eye is the key intermediary step in the process of manifestation, because the language of the brain is visual images. In contrast, attempting to influence the mind in words is like talking to it in a foreign language. For example, telling the hand to warm up will not cause a change in its temperature, whereas picturing vividly the same hand being inflamed by a blazing sun or immersed in a bucket of hot water will cause the temperature of that hand to rise. If one hand is visualized in a bucket of ice and the other is seen being heated, the temperature of one will rise while the other drops. No amount of verbal commands to the hand will make any difference, no matter how forceful. This is why affirmations have only limited efficacy in creating new realities, unless accompanied by vividly picturing the new reality in the process of becoming manifest. Transcendent visual imagery is truly the way to use the mind in bringing heaven to earth. The adage, "Be careful of what you wish for," should be amended to, "Be careful of what you visualize for." For truly consciously utilizing visual imagery is the primary secret to unleashing the co-creative power of higher mind. The electrical energy of willpower takes form as the visual image in the mind. By contemplating this image coming into form, magnetic feelings of joy are generated, attracting gravity and weight to the image and clothing it in three-dimensional form. Every desire or will impulse from spirit comes to expression through visual images created in will and contemplated in mind. Mind is the element of air, and it is the principle of mind and air that we help people understand and use through meditating on the virtues of the letters of our name, Kagaros, Kagaros. Universal mind is inherent in the spirits of all, just as genetic qualities transfer from one generation to the next. You are made in the image and likeness of God. It is the power of the mind that takes the spiritual energy of visualizations, contemplates them within the realm of imagination, and thereby generates a flow of feelings, creating magnetism. This magnetism then attracts the visualized image into physical form. Therefore, images of great beauty that accurately reflect divine wholeness and will are contemplated in mind and become beautiful feelings. Universal mind takes the visualizations of creation and with perfect contemplation creates ideas. This is the theta state dominant in childhood. Become again a little child as you dream visual images of perfection. These ideas then generate rapture, love, blessing, happiness, clarity, and purity and unification. This is the alpha state dominant in adolescence. Feelings are agents of change. Soar with powerful divine feelings, and you change reality to greater perfection and wholeness. The process of contemplation is most important for generating the magnetism of feelings necessary to attract a visual image into physical form. This is our expertise, and this is what we inspire. Nature is called the Book of Life. By looking at the forms that have been created from visual images of divinity in nature, a person can feel original divine emotion. Contemplate the ideas and remember original divine being. The longing within the heart of each being to merge ecstatically with feelings of living in paradise are fulfilled as a person goes deep within to his or her original purity and innocence and daydreams of beautiful perfection for all. We, the angels of air and of mind, are inspired to help you shine the light of creative imagination to generate living waters of feeling in the web of life. The stars in the firmament are teachers of the power of light to illuminate and make beautiful the darkness of the night. The sun in the sky is the teacher of the power of light to sustain life. Likewise, the power of spirit flowing through visual images, thoughts, and feelings illuminates and changes darkness to light and brings a new day and life to the world. God has placed the stars in the firmament as physical exhibitions of the lights of divine ideas. These star points of light represent enlightened concepts inherent in infinite mind. Just as there are infinite numbers of stars in the sky, so also are there limitless designs that can be remembered and given expression by imagination within each child of light. Look inward for help and inspiration so that all visualization, imagination, and contemplation reflects the highest will in life for all. Dance the dance of creativity. Together with Providence, you are co-creators in infinite beauty. With attunement to wisdom and power over mind comes dominion over beings of the air, the sylphs. Understanding and command of air as mediator between will and emotion, and the role of air beings in nature, the sylphs, are gained through attunement to the divine virtues of the angels of Kagaros. Kagaros, the angels of the air.
And so if you ever need to command the storms, you do it through your mind. And what I suggest you do is when the storm comes in, you connect with it and be very polite because it's actually an intelligent being. It's an entity that is incarnating in a physical body that we call a storm. And it may only last a few minutes or a few hours, or it could go on. But it's a short incarnation for a very powerful being, but it's very intelligent. And if you connect with it in love and do the law of one, then the storm will do only the highest good of all concerned. But anyway, I don't want to take too much time here, but the rising sign is 6, Leo, the one before that. And then once we read that, we're going to read where the moon is and the earth is at 8, Aquarius. So let's give Mare a break here. Marianne, would you read 6, Leo? Now, this rising sign is the mystical path that this full moon that's happening on the 31st is going to require. In other words, we're all going to be walking on a mystical path. And the mystical path is 6, Leo. Woo! And then after that, we'll hear what the moon is doing, because this is going to bring a lot of unusual occurrences. So go
Absolutely.
ahead.
May I just interject really quick? I want to remind everybody, don't let these angels go to waste in your life. As we read these angels, if you so will, call them in. Call the angels in. Here's what I say. Take what you will. I just call in these angels of fertility to initiate me and give me wisdom, knowledge, and strategy in whatever you will, in what you do. Thank you. So just
you don't have to remember their names or what degree. The main thing to understand is that it's like in the Bible it says that God has given his angels to watch over us and to keep us from stumbling. But also there are great teachers and beings. There's, on the inner planes. And the way it is, they're not allowed to interfere with us. We're down here just running around like chickens with their heads cut off, doing whatever it is we do. But if one of us asks for help, then they're allowed to do it. So the key is you don't have to know their names or their degrees, but just know that out there is help. And if you just send it out there as a general thing saying, I am asking for help, and then state what you're asking for help with, It could be anything. But whatever it is that you're asking for help with, maybe it's your health, or your dog is sick, or you're worried about the world, or you're in a relationship issue. I mean, whatever, your finances, who knows, right? Whenever you call them in to ask you with whatever it is you're asking them to help you with, it's very important that you ask them to also help anyone else in a similar situation. It's just the way it works. In other words, say I'm asking for my own physical health, physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual health. So I call in any being out there, wherever it is, who can help me with it for the highest good of all concerned. And then I add, and also help all others with their health, physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, who need it. And that act of asking for yourself, number one, and then asking for others in the collective, makes it work. It's like a pump. It's like breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. You're asking for yourself and you're asking for the collective at the same time. And they work together. It makes an alternating current. So 6 Leo, Marianne, if you could read that. 6
Yes.
Leo.
I'm right here. 6 Leo. Aslatema, the angels of propagation of seed. Beloved, in the heart of each person resides the deepest longings for spiritual perfection and beauty. We inspire people to create visions of earth in her Eden state and charge all seed with these visions. Each and every seed, be it plant, animal, and human, is influenced by the originating pure conception of its potential for perfection in universal mind. Desire to accutate this splendor and majesty vitalizes seeds. We inspire people to influence the seeds of fields, the seeds of animals, the seeds of humans with intention and desire to express the highest qualities of perfection. This is accomplished by visualization and feelings. Charging of seed with desire for highest potential applies to the microcosm and of smallest material forms and to the macrocosm of greatest universes. The most perfect beauty, the sweetest harmony, the greatest intelligence and perfection of form, each and every loving quality you can imagine can be successfully willed into seeds of regeneration on every level. We support people in their intentions to revitalize everything in the world with immaculate visioning to bring forth heaven on earth. Visualize. Visualize the virtues you are inspired to elicit in seeds. Flow with the vitality of the splendor and majesty of divine being. The letters A in our name, representing wisdom and enlightenment, bring understanding of the original intention for all created forms, leading to wisdom in charging the seed so DNA is transformed into higher growth patterns. Imperfections are released into the other states for the highest good of all. The power penetrating all, represented by S, is activated in the seed, and L denotes the essence of vitality and internal youth flowing into a seed. The high inspiration and harmony of T helps with choosing how to impregnate the seed, and M brings the emotions that magnetize these feelings. And these are the angels of propagation of seed. Thank you.
So we can clearly see that this huge trillions of dollars and years of talent and research and facilities to poison everybody on Earth with contaminated food is now being corrected. Okay? It's being corrected right now. And by the end of the month, that is going to be information codes coming from the planets themselves and activating us as sons and daughters of God. Now, finally, we can read where the moon and the earth will be at 8 degrees Aquarius. And let me see, 8 Aquarius, I'll read this one. Because after that we have one more to read, which will be the part of fortune at 6 Aquarius.
Hey, Cynthia?
Yeah.
7 degrees Leo with the sun, right?
8 degrees.
Okay.
8 degrees.
Okay.
Yeah, and then 8 degrees Aquarius. Yeah, 7 degrees Leo with Vulcan.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, and you've got your rising at 6, Vulcan at 7, Sun at 8, blending energies. And there's more, but we don't have time to go through it right now. So 8 degrees Aquarius, let me read you that. Now this is where the moon is. The moon is going to activate our emotional astral bodies. And wherever the emotions are, that's creates a magnet with information codes, and we magnetize it out of the quantum field. So 8 Aquarius is where the moon will be conjunct the earth at 8 Aquarius. Having a hard time flipping the book here. Oh boy, I just keep skipping over it. I'm trying to do it with one hand. Okay.
4:48.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
This is where you get dressed to take the trash across the street?
What? You're cutting out just a tad. Someone was saying something? It was a beautiful voice. I can't understand my book. The pages keep changing. Mayor, would you read, I'm so sorry, but there's something strange going on with my book. Would you read 8 Aquarius, and I'll read 6 Aquarius after you. Now, when she reads 8 Aquarius.
8 Aquarius.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just locate it. Here we go. Okay. 8 degrees Aquarius. Metosi, the angels of physical grace. Beloved, we are angels of physical movement and skill as an expression of holy perfection. We are entrusted to guide humankind into performing amazing and beautiful movements in every kind of activity, skill, and art. We influence crafts traditionally produced by women, embroidering, knitting, crocheting, sewing, spinning, and work by anyone in a profession that requires precise manual skill. Dancing, walking, tai chi, and the movement of sports fall under our range of competence. A human body is primarily a living water temple, proportioned to the phi-pi ratio, the spiral of life, about 80% water. As rapturous emotions flow through consciousness, the body responds not only with ecstasy and health, but also with graceful and beautiful movement. Through the virtues of Metosi, we inspire a person to move gracefully, to perform rhythmical flowing movements that are artistic and transformational expressions of tremendous beauty and truth. Whenever a person executes a physical movement, whether in work, play, or reverie, the entire web of life responds. Graceful movement creates ripples of soothing energy throughout a person's body, from there outward into the unified field. rocking it like a child in its mother's arms. Each movement, however small, is an outward expression of feelings. The smallest gesture, such as bowing slightly to smell a flower blossom, becomes an act of exquisite grace and power as a person merges with divine emotion. When the movement of each part of the body, each tilt of the head or glance of an eye, becomes a multi-dimensional study of exquisite subtlety. We help people realize that the human body water temple is a moving and flowing abode of ecstasy. Because of the as above, so below law, the virtues of Matosi are important for expressing heaven on earth. If lovely feelings are flowing and the body moves gracefully, communication with heavenly realms is magnetically attracted. In an immortal and perfect body, which is the birthright of all creation of light, the flow of chi, or life force, is unimpeded, moving energy through the chakras on every level. With cosmic love and other rapt emotions, movement expresses your feelings as a goddess or god incarnate, and each movement massages energy meridians, promoting youthfulness. The art of conscious physical movement is the result of perfect energy flow through physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, and akashic levels of consciousness. Motions that are disconnected or out of synchrony reflect inharmonious senses, feelings, thoughts, desires. Ungraceful movement often comes from a life of emotional hurt that has resulted in multiple selves within the psyche that send out conflicting signals to the body. It evokes a discordant energy, which in turn affects all other levels. To demonstrate grace in movement, meditate on the unity of all life, the presence of God everywhere, in all things, in all places. Become aware of perfect will and intention for the highest good of all that permeates and affects the entire web of life. Attune to angelic guidance and feel high inspiration. Meditate on love revealing perfection in everything, and be aware of beauty of movement itself from within and without. Ask us to fill you with the beauty of symmetry and movement. Upon receiving your free will request, we network with the heavenly hosts necessary to fill and surround you with grace and love. Almost immediately, the movement of your body becomes more beautiful, and the part of your brain governing movement grows more, connecting nerve cells. Awareness of grace and perfect rhythm, timing, and form increases each day. Ah, thou dancer in the forest, thou swimmer of waves, thou spinner of yarn and potter of clay, flow with pure love and open heaven's door, transforming all with bliss evermore. Matosi.
That was beautiful. And we'll just finish it up with the part of fortune. Now, the part of fortune is the most fortunate point, 1 degree in the whole 360 degrees. And it just happens to be 6 Aquarius. So it's blending its energy, and it also happens to be conjunct the descendant, the exact place that the sun is going down on the horizon at the moment of the peak of the full moon. And I will read that. This is 6 degrees Aquarius, the heavenly host of Lyriel, the angels of cosmic philosophy. Beloved, we are the original initiators in the cosmic philosophy. We teach the most various philosophies from the prime origin up to the present day. We enable you to look into the distant future and learn about philosophies of days to come, and help you accumulate an intellectual knowledge of philosophies. Through the virtues of Lyria, we teach the philosophy of creation. All the virtues taken together is the meaning of letter L, opening so to the splendor and the majesty of divinity on every level. True spirituality, youth, and vitality are gained. The cause behind every effect can be understood through the virtue of letter I, which opens up conscience and memory, so one sees how every effect is the result of a specific cause. Listening to inner guidance opens the doorway to perfection in each moment. Letter R. Letter E enables understanding of cosmic philosophy when one also comprehends the omnipresent splendor and majesty of being. These four, the virtue of cause and effect, letter I, the omnipresence of divine being, letter E, and the splendor and majesty of divinity, letter L, written twice, are important keys in our name. When you open up to our influence, any starting point, however trivial or grand, will do. From any doorway, any place that you are in your life, we guide you along information highways of light and emotion into philosophies about life, all the way into the deepest truth of divine consciousness. So it's pretty exciting. We, in the next 2 weeks, minus a day or so, wrap up everything you want to create. In other words, make visual images of yourself in perfect health, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, doing exactly what brings you joy in your heart, with your spiritual family, dancing awake the sacred dream of all beings on earth being happy and the highest good of all concerned happening, and even to other spheres and other realities. And this chart, the way it's set up, we're going to have a lot of unexpected things happening. But because of what we're creating, the unexpected things will be beautiful. It'll be like waking up in the morning and your eyes can focus perfectly and you didn't even have to get LASIK. It'll be like waking up in the morning and you hear about the long-awaited money situation being resolved, or the political or whatever. You wake up, just unexpected stuff, both personally and collectively. You know, people that you thought were just basket cases that would never change, you'll be unexpectedly surprised when all of a sudden out of their mouth all this wisdom starts pouring out. I mean, it's just going to be one unexpected thing after the other. But because of what we're creating now, even though we will still have unexpected surprises, they will be beautiful. They will be beautiful surprises. So I haven't been really watching the clock because it's behind me, and I can't see it very well. But how are we doing time-wise?
We're over time.
Elizabeth?
We're over time, but you guys are just wrapping up now, right?
We're
like
done.
15 minutes over.
I think so, unless Marianne wants to say something, or Mare, we're done.
I want to thank you guys. This was awesome information we wanted to. It's always good for preparation for the unexpected and the limitlessness coming, but preparation's still good, not in the sense of, we're going to, know what's going to happen. It's exciting times. No, you want to be surprised, but preparation into limitlessness and
right.
Yeah, excitement.
Thank you
Marianne,
so much.
Thank you, Cynthia. And stay tuned. I want to make an announcement here before you guys hang up. But we got Chris coming, everybody, and we're galactizing with the brothers and sisters, and we'll bring, if you want to learn about your guides. So, Marianne, Mayer?
Can I contribute something real quickly?
Just really quickly, yeah, and then, go. Yes, Nancy.
Yes, it is. Hello, everybody. Love, 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 and the smoochies. During the full moon,
put out a gallon of water to charge up in the moon with the words receive with love and gratitude on or under the water bottle to gather up the full moon energies of that water, and you can't believe how magical that water becomes. Mm-hmm. And that's my contribution. We love all of you guys so much.
Wow, Nancy, that was a great thing. Thanks for bringing that out. I did that 2 or 3 years ago. And Cynthia taught us that, and Nancy taught us that. That's great. I'm going to do that. Marianne, did you want to say anything?
Nancy, thank you. I forgot about that. I used to do that. Thank you so much, and it's also good to hear your voice. So I'm complete. Mare, do you have anything to say?
I just wanted to say I love you all very much. Sending much love. Thank you.
Love you, Marianne. Cynthia, Twinkle Star. Thank you, guys. And here's the announcement I want to make. We are in the mode. We still have details to work out, but I'm thinking if not next week, the week after, we're going to add another Diamonds show where Cynthia and Marianne and Mare can do, they need more time for the astrology, and that's encouraging us to where we're at and how we can prepare for our surprises and excitement and limitlessness. So we're going to make another call, so 2 calls a week. So Cynthia, Mare, and Marianne will be on that one, and in that they'll bring their information. It's more than information, my God. It's a pot of treasure. Forth, they'll bring their information forth. They'll so much time, and then we're going to go into engaging with the audience, so you can come in and ask questions and even learn building more of who you really are. And then on the Monday night's call, we'll basically focus on relationshiping with our galactic brothers and sisters. Even though, and we haven't worked out the details, Mare and Cynthia and Marianne will still be on the Monday call, but we're going to arrange it a little bit different. So, Fuzz, twin diamonds. Here's my twins. I had twins naturally, fraternal twins in the natural realm. Here's my twins I'm creating, Cynthia, in the conference call realm. So, Fuzz, the twins of the twin mission of Diamonds Forever 3113. The first mission would be with Cynthia and Marianne and Mare is learning who you really are. And I'll add going into the wisdom of that, which is the action of that in your own life. The other twin is relationshiping with our brothers and sisters galactic-wise, building a team with them and us, co-creating together. We are already co-creating together in the spiritual realm, mental, physical, emotional, but soon we'll be co-creating on the ground here on Earth and beyond in other planets. So the 2 Diamonds missions will be twinning up. Of course, the Minnesota Twins, the baseball here in Minnesota. Of course, it had to happen. So look forward to that. And then so on both calls a week on those missions, we will have more time for engagement with you guys, which, I don't want to leave you guys out, and I never did. It's just been packed. So we're going to divide it up a little bit, even though everybody will still be on the other 2 calls. We're just going to arrange it as fact where we'll have those 2 missions highlighted on one call and the other one on the other one. So get geared up, and we can really get close with each other. We're relationshiping with our brothers and sisters, and we want to bring more relationshiping in with our brothers and sisters here on the ground, and that's all of us here on this call tonight that are on the phone, human beings. So I really, really encourage you, take that leap of faith if you're shy and want to stay behind the curtain, but just take that leap of faith and come in and engage with us. We'll have a part of giving out information and knowledge, wisdom, and then we're going to have a part where we really, really want you guys to come in and share your gifts with us, intermingle with the information that's gone forth, and expand it. Expand it. We're all creators. Let's build our muscles and become the creators we are. So I wanted to bring that forth. Okay. Thank you guys very much. Now we'll bring Chris in, and then towards the end of it, we'll bring you guys in if you want to meet you guys. I know I remember Nancy. So Nancy, and if Timothy's on there, and there's a few others. I don't know. So we'll limit it to probably about 5 minutes each or so, Chris. Anyway, Chris, come on in.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I could do a few people. That'd be good. But first, as I was sitting here, had a couple people come in here with me. It wasn't just Tyler. He started to leave, and then a couple others came and sat in here with me. And
they're sitting in your room nowadays, huh, Chris?
Yeah,
You got a party going on in your room, in your house nowadays, huh?
Yeah, and see, I have this knight's helmet that's sitting on the floor, and some of them like coming in and just sitting on it. I don't know what I don't know if they think it's a chair or something, but
a knight's helmet?
Yeah, I have a big knight's helmet that sits on the floor. Yeah.
K-N-I-G-H-T?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Why don't you ask them why they're sitting on your helmet? Maybe they'll let you know.
Yeah, they just think it's cool, so they just sit over there, and then what's really weird is, as I'm sitting here, there's this big spider sitting on the floor staring at me too. But I don't know why it's there. But
you want to ask him?
What was interesting though is who came through. It's somebody I'd never met before, but when we were referring to ancestors earlier, when everybody's talking about ancestors, this particular person came through, and he called himself Emperor Sinjin. And I asked him who he was, and he said he was an emperor in China in the 3rd century.
Wow.
Yeah, and he said, I noticed he had dragon features, and I came to find out that some of the earlier incarnations of the Oriental races were half dragon. And so no hate emails or anything for anybody who's listening. I'm not saying anything racist or anything like that. But
well, I concur with you with the half dragon thing. Yes, and dragons are very, very powerful in love. We're yet to learn more about them. Yeah.
Yeah, and the ones that I deal with are from a world called Nignos. Nignos doesn't exist anymore. It got destroyed. It was what formed the asteroid belt in our solar system. I said that on one of Candy's calls once I talked about Nignos. It was the Drago who destroyed that world, or at least aided in doing it, and it blew up, creating the asteroid belt. But the beings that were there, a lot of them were out still in the universe, and they're a type of dragon. They can shift between man form and dragon form. And a lot of them look like these Chinese dragons, and this Sinjin is one of them. And he came through and said he was from that world. And I don't know why he was so impatient to come through here. He was sitting here kind of nodding to me. And he said,
Chris, you said he's so impatient. We'll have to pray for him for patience too, huh? I'm kidding. I love you.
Yeah, he's funny. In his dragon form, he's like this white, gold, red, and black dragon. He's like the typical Chinese dragon look.
Uh-huh.
He's not like the medieval fantasy type. Some other ones from that world look like what you'd expect like a medieval fantasy look. But this one's more the Chinese dragon look, a long, snake-like one, and then he can go to the man form. Now, I don't know if that's a psychic thing or if it's a physical thing. I'm not quite sure. I've never quite figured that one out. But Sinjin, in his man form, he's wearing gold and white armor, like you'd expect, like this Chinese style armor, and he looks human. He looks Oriental when he's in his man form. He has pale yellow skin, and and he stopped me there for a second when I said pale. He goes, "Who are you calling pale?" Kind of. And he has that that Fu Manchu mustache thing going on, and a goatee. But and he said he was in China in the 3rd century A.D. He said he was an emperor. I don't know if he was called Sinjin in the history, but he came through when I was looking through look through your ancestors. And I looked through, and apparently he's part of my own bloodline. So nice. I thought that was interesting. But there's another reason he came through. I think he's a guide for somebody.
Sinjin, do you have a message for us, or if you're a guide for somebody, if you can give us that name, and then we'll ask the audience if that name is out there.
Yeah, I believe it was. Nancy is who he just said. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, should we just do Nancy now, and then we'll finish with your part? Okay. Well, should we do Nancy now, and then we'll finish with the galactic relationshiping after Nancy, and then we'll bring others in. Go ahead. There you go, Nancy. She's excited, Chris.
Okay. Yeah. He's a very old guide, and also now he's joking again. He's like, "Who are you calling old?" No, he's a jokester. He kind of reminds me of the Oriental version of Michael. Michael is kind of a jokester too. He's sitting here with me as well. But Sinjin is. I'm trying to see. Are you there, Nancy?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Let me see here.
Are you Sinjin? Like Sinjan?
Yeah, it's Syngin. Sinjin. Kind of like Jin as in genie.
Yeah.
And don't call him pale, Nancy. Call him a beautiful color. That pale color is the rainbow, in the rainbow, Sinjin. We love you.
That's awesome. That's why I attract dragons all the time. Okay. Keep going.
He's always around you. It appears like he's all right. He's now kind of bilocating to you, and he's still here with me, but he's like kind of bilocating to your location. It looks like he can be in multiple places at one time, and he's telling me to look at inside you, and I'm not hoping this isn't like a possession thing or something like that. But the thing that I see lit up inside of you is your center of gravity. The portal that's inside of you. But I'm not seeing any of the chakras lighting up right. So I gotta tap the center of gravity real quick and light up the insides. And okay, now he just grabbed something that was kind of covering you. I don't know if you've had pains or of some sort, like a fibromyalgia type situation, but he was pointing that out. And there was something covering your whole internal energy matrices. And now I'm seeing everything. And there are a couple of, he says there are a couple of implants in there, but he told me to leave them alone. They're good. You don't have to worry about them. If he's saying they're good, I can see I can trust him. So he's all right. And let me see. Yeah, your third eye looks like it's working just fine. Your crown chakra, on the other hand, let me see. There was something, he pulled almost like a hat off the top of your head that was in your energy. It looked almost like an old style, Mongolian-looking hat. So he was showing me that there was, okay, it's a past life thing, he's telling me. Okay, he's telling me all you need to do with this, we don't need to go through the whole rigmarole of going through the whole past life. He said the only details that you need to know are, let me see, that he's just showing me that somebody killed somebody else with a spear, and it went up through the top of the head. And he says that in that lifetime, you did this. It was like a Mongolian type. It was an Oriental-based lifetime. So he says anything that needs to be cleared up is just done with self-forgiveness. So if you verbalize that right now, it clears it up immediately.
So I forgive myself for any harm I've ever done to anyone or anything.
Okay, yeah, immediately the past life just kind of lifted, and this hat that he pulled off the top of your head in energy form is now lifting, and I see all the energy shooting out the top of your head, and it looks like, is that the only problem? He's nodding, but there's like a darker area around your side of your neck. Let me see, in your ear, one of your ears. So I'm seeing there. Oh, he said it's fine, but what's he saying? Okay, he was telling me to look around the backside of the platinum chakra. That's where usually little like Drago entities like to hide in people. And he said, don't worry about it. He's got it. He's reaching in there and pulling out a couple of nasties that are there. And it looks like they were small ones. They weren't that big of a deal. But okay, and yeah, these were different. He said these were different types of things. They weren't the typical entities I find. They look like little miniature dragons, but they're not. Some are good, some aren't. It looks like they were just stopping up the works. It doesn't look like they were doing like full-on possessions or anything like that. Let me see. Okay, and looks like he is clearing it up. And it looks like he's telling me look at your feet. And let me see. Do you have something wrong with the arches?
I have lymphedema, so my feet and my legs are bandaged at all times.
Okay. Yeah, he's telling me it's a simple fix by tapping into the internal chi network in the body. It looks like some of these blockages you had other places were making this happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm tapping into some nerves that are there in your legs and these little chi chakra points that I call them that are in your legs. They're supposed to look like flower blooms. And I'm making them spin the way they're supposed to. And making like the nerve endings become those same flower blooms. And he says that will begin to clear this up. Now, I'm no doctor, I'm not going to say that, oh, you're cured miraculously, but this, he says, is a start to being able to repair this.
We'll know the time when Nancy comes on and says, oh, my God, guess what happened to me? And she's going to tell the testimony of her whatever happens. And I know. And, Nancy, you have family around you. I know there's people listening that have known you for a long time. I can't wait to hear the good news. Go ahead.
Woohoo.
Yeah, let's see. And, okay, Sinjin is, now it looks like he's running his hands down the energy centers of your legs, and he says he's repairing the, looks like, do you have also problems like veins too? Yes. Okay. Yeah, he says he's repairing that damage right now. Or at least, internally. You might not see it, externally, but he's starting to repair it. And he's using a term I like to use from Doctor Who. Says you're still cooking at the moment. That's a Doctor Who term, and I use it a lot with what I'm doing. He says your legs are cooking at the moment, and he says in a few days you'll notice something. I don't know to what intensity, but you'll notice something. If you haven't felt anything yet, you will. And let's see, is anything else? He goes, nope, all is good at the moment.
Nancy, what are you feeling? What have you felt when he was talking to you, Chris, and that dragon? And do you see him? Have you noticed when he materialized into your house? Go ahead and share with us.
Absolutely. I am. My heart is like wide open right now, and my gratitude is just off the charts. Totally pegged right on. I mean, like, wow. There's something that has niggled me for many, many years, and I just have not been able to look at it. And I'm wondering, years ago, there was a woman who is very powerful, and she did a motion and a movement, and she was angry, and she did move her hand across, and I literally felt my torso. I felt I don't know how to put the word, an amputation, and I had nightmares still even to this day. It's been 10 years about this moment in time, knowing somewhere deep inside of me that she did something that went way deeper than anything I've ever experienced. And I'm wondering if there's any possibility of seeing. It's disturbed me everything in my life changed after that. And
Nancy, don't wonder. Ask. Just say I'm asking, right? If there's anything.
Asking. Okay. Did this woman do something? Can it be repaired? And what the hell?
What I'm seeing is it's part a fear tactic. This person herself was possessed herself, and I'm seeing this person had a very deep set possession, and this person attempted to put it in you, but usually fear is the start. They want you to dwell, these bad beings want you to dwell on these things to the point where you become fearful and they can come in and swoop in. But what I'm seeing is, I was wondering why some of your internal, like chi flowers, as I call them, weren't spinning around your chest area. And I'm seeing now St. John is going around, he's pointing to, he's reconnecting this network right down the center of your sternum. I'm seeing it was almost like somebody sliced it with a sword. And that's what I'm seeing at the moment. But him and I are reconnecting these threads, and I'm seeing all the other chi flowers spinning, and your normal chakras are also spinning. The inside of you is glowing blue, red, green, yellow. I'm seeing all these connections reconnecting. I'm seeing your network of veins and arteries and everything. And he says,
when these are all reconnected, what will that charge be? Come back. What will come back in her?
The nervous system and it looks like the veins and arteries and everything should work properly again. He is saying, he's saying water is the key here. Where if you're do you feel like ever since that point, like you felt dehydrated and weak?
Yes, it changed. It changed things so deeply for me. When I follow anything back to work on myself, it goes to that point. There's a before that point, and then there's after that point. And the only thing that ever comes to me is like something in my being was amputated that day, in that moment. And I have done so much work and prayed and asked and requested. And so I feel like, oh my God, finally, like somebody is addressing this. It's been years, and yes, it affected me very deeply and physically and on just so many levels, deeper than I can even look at, I think. And so
this definitely. I'm seeing where these connections were severed. The word amputate was a good term. It'd be like if somebody sliced into you and sliced through some arteries or some veins and just kind of left it that way. And this is, I don't know if this person did it with their hand or they did it with their, it looks like they turned their energy into almost like a blade.
They did it with their hand. It was a sideways hand chop moving through the air. And I just closed the door and turned around, and I didn't see it coming, and it happened like so quickly. And I mean, it completely caught me completely off guard.
Well, look at the reverse of it, Nancy. It's happened. You're reversing back to the positive, the good stuff in a flick, and you didn't even expect it. Glory to God. Hallelujah.
Answer to prayers. Yee-haw. This is like Christmas, birthday, surprise, blessing, treasure.
This is why we call
rainbow. Yes, love.
That's why we call Chris Kringle. Ho, 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 but he's not that fat.
No, not even close. It's, one thing that St. John is telling me, and this is also from what I've seen too, after something like this is more akin to a major surgery, I've been told, like on a psychic level, on an energy level, just like that was a wound on a psychic level, the repair of it is a surgery on a psychic level. So whatever emotions you had that were accompanying the wound, get rid of them, and also don't enter into anything strenuous for a few days. Don't have any other seers. Don't have any other seers, like myself, look at this repair job too right away, because I've been told that this can do damage too. So if you know somebody that has the same abilities as myself, and tell them, don't do that until the cooking, so to speak, is complete. The heal job is complete. Then they can do it all they want. But there's a certain time frame where it's kind of fragile, like glass, but then it hardens, and then you become more solid. The energy is more solid. Like if somebody would mess with it, I'd have to go back in and fix it again. It's just like with a wound. If somebody doesn't seal it right, you have to go back and rework it. So that's what I can recommend.
Okay, I'm all over it.
Thank you, Nan.
Oh, my God.
That's great.
I can't put into words the gratitude and love I feel right now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, Chris, just a minute ago, I thought I heard a frog or a burp, or then I thought maybe it's an ET coming in. I don't know.
That was
me.
I
heard that too. I don't. Oh,
that was Cynthia.
I clear energy through burping.
Oh, that was you.
I was wondering what that was. Okay.
And it comes out in the form of burp, so sorry about that.
No, don't
be
sorry.
I do the same thing. I do the same thing. Yeah, I don't know what that guy was.
Yeah, I was just being sexy on this end of the line, guys.
That's great. Be yourself. Okay, what's next, Chris?
Okay, let me see. Is there anybody else in line?
Well, let's just call. Yeah, probably. But I just want to just do a little bit of relationshiping with anybody. So, how do you want to do that tonight? Just want to be relaxed and call somebody in just to say hi and a few words, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll do it that way. Behind me, I have my bed sitting behind me, and I have Michael sitting behind me at the moment. He's here like in his full battle regalia. I noticed that any of the beings that have been showing up tonight are in their full armor.
Really?
And I keep asking them what's going on, and they won't allude to it. They just say, just go about what you're doing.
Oh, well, we're in the transition, so that's good encouragement. That's a sign and a wonder for us. Thanks for sharing that, Chris.
Yeah, even Sinjin was in his full, like, Chinese-looking armor, and another one by the name of Zarganas. I deal with him. He's from that same planet. He was in armor. I've never seen him in armor. He's usually in a hood. But Michael,
well,
this
is a spiritual war. So, you know, and all when beings suit up in armor, what does that mean? What does that mean? They're going to war.
Yeah.
Or taking dominion, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's Michael's back here, you know, nodding as you're saying that. He goes, you better believe it.
I believe
he'll
it.
Say it like it is. He says it like it is. He doesn't sugarcoat. He doesn't do anything like that. If I'm doing something wrong, he's usually the first one to come up and go. So.
Well, I already know. Michael, I already know who the winner is. It's a no-brainer. Go for it. High five. We're going in the golden age, no matter what. Woohoo!
Mhm. Oh yeah. I'm trying to see. I'm kind of prying him for information here to see what exactly they were suiting up for, and he's like, okay, fine, I'll tell you. No.
Cool.
And he
we
goes,
love you, Michael.
And he says they are. He's not going to go into an overt amount of detail. He can't. But what he does say is when you see them suit up in like an armor, whatever their version, whatever that guide's version of it is, it usually means that it's an energy transition to where the bad guys are trying to invade that particular layer of existence, like what I've said before, we passed into fourth density. These bad guys are trying to do their thing within this density, and it's getting harder and harder for them to do it for two reasons: our vibration, what we're doing here, and the fact that guys like Michael here are kind of pushing them back. And he says there's no kinda about it. He is doing it, but like I said, he doesn't sugarcoat. He'll just get straight to the point. He goes, okay, yeah, he just said right. He goes, we beat the crap out of him, is what he's saying. But,
hey, Michael, can I give him something, Chris, Michael?
Yeah.
Okay, ready, catch it. Mwah! Catch that big kiss, Michael, and please take it out to where you guys are taking dominion, and throw it out, okay? It's full of love, conquers all.
And what he did when you did that is he grabbed hold of it and he turned it into a bunch of doves.
Aww. Glory.
So he threw a bunch of doves into the air, and he's like, there you go.
Well, give it the diamonds, all of us on here, that's our contribution to the golden age. Thank you for that, and to help you guys.
Yeah, and he says those doves are represent exactly what we're doing. That's the psychic version of that love energy where it's manifesting as that. And he says that's about one of the most prophetic things that could be done. And he says he's bowing his head at the moment. He says thank you, and now he's backing off. He's taking off at the moment. But sure enough, we'll see him. Yeah, he is. We'll more than likely see him again. I see him all the time. So let's see if there's anybody else showing up here. Okay. I just mentioned him a minute ago. His name is Zarganas, and he's a dragon, but he can go back and forth between the man form and the dragon, like Sinjin, and from the same planet. And he's saying. Yeah, he's in armor too, from what I've seen, and he's showing me the full dragon form now. When he goes into his dragon form, he looks like the classic medieval fantasy style. He's not the Asian-looking one. He's like the big medieval fantasy-looking one, and with the big wings and everything. And he's showing me that he is he does exist in fourth density. He's in that same density we're in right now, but he's just he's physical, and he's rendering himself kind of partially visible. Why he can't just walk in the room and make himself visible, I don't know. But
hey, hit! Chris is hitting at you.
and he's poking me a little bit, going. He goes, "Weren't you just told patience?" and he's another jokester. And oh, okay, here's somebody else that you're going to be very happy to know showed up. This one, he doesn't show up very often, but Zarganis and him are actually friends now. They were enemies back in the times of the old wars, but this one, the viewers, the listeners rather, are going to be very surprised this one showed up. This is Zeus.
Zeus? Oh,
Zeus,
nice.
And throwing lightning bolt Zeus, yes. And he's also a physical being up there, in space as well.
You're laughing. What's he doing? You're laughing. I hear you giggling. What's he doing?
No, he's just being silly, kind of, dancing around and giggling and stuff like that. He does do that. He's not as stern as as the myths say. At one time he was, when he kind of went down the wrong path. But he's here now doing something goofy and trying to make me laugh. But the
law of one, or the law of fun.
Exactly. And I'm asking if
you're going to get sandwiched in between both of us. Let's Zeus, you do something really funny, and I'll just laugh, and we're gonna squish Chris Kringle.
Yeah, and I'm asking if he actually had a reason for showing up, and he's like, yes. He goes, he said he was just being goofy temporarily there, and he looks like how you would expect, but only he has a narrower beard that goes down kind of into a point, and he has white hair back into a ponytail. And he's wearing a grayish uniform, and because that's how up on the space city, that's how they look, that's how they dress up there. And Zarganis is kind of the same way, but Zeus,
I like that.
And Zeus, he's also wearing some armor on top of it too. And I'm seeing he's holding a staff too, and he's holding this 3-pronged staff with a little light in the center, and looks like he is going in between the dimensions as well, and or on the density, excuse me, and doing the same as Michael and Zarganis and the rest of them. And they said they don't need to tell me the details of it, because there are some things that would disrupt the timetables if I would let them out. But so they're not going into a great amount of detail, but they are saying that he said that Zeus just told me the moon, because of us, is now free. He says,
"Yay! Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful! Oh, freedom for the moon, Independence Day for the moon. Thank you."
Yeah, he says even though we freed the Martian colonies. He says there's still fighting going on in some parts of them that we weren't seeing, like underground and some parts out in space and everything. But he says for the most part it's died down. But the moon itself is completely in the dominion of the good side now.
Thank you. That's awesome. Good work, Chris. High five. High five, everybody on the call.
Yeah, when you said high five, Zeus just raised his hand up.
Because I gave him a high five, too. Of course.
And Zarganis did the same thing.
Yay!
So, yeah, they were just here to pretty much say that the moon base is totally purged.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing the reports. We enjoy those. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's always good to hear the results. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was thinking if anybody else is showing. Okay, there's one more guy showing up.
Okay.
And
I hope he's a funny guy.
Oh, he can be. He can be weird. But this guy, you've only heard from him one other time. It was on the very first call that we all did together. His name is Bugnazi, and he's a mantis.
Yeah.
And normally, I would say don't have the insectoids, come through on anything like this, but he's actually one of the good guys, and he's actually from a future timeline, and he's a fairly large mantis. If you saw him in your room, he'd probably take up like a third of the space.
Wow.
And he's big, and he is telling me. Yeah, normally I don't see him kind of lit up. He's like lit up under my room lights at the moment. And he's telling me that I normally hear from him at least every night at the end of my channelings. He's telling me that he's confirming what I said, and he is actually the head of the moon base facility at the moment. He took over for the previous person that was trying to give enact dominion over the Earth.
Well, salute to you, new Captain Moon, Bugnazi. Salute.
Mm-hmm.
Love you.
Mm-hmm. And he took one of his bug arms and just kind of did the salute.
I was saluting him too. I love you. That's great.
Yeah, and he said that normally people scoff when you mention insectoid because they're generally considered to be the bad guys. But this guy, he took over for a gray that was ahead of the facility before. This was several months back, but he's taken great pains to enact new policies and new laws and stuff like that hopefully get integrated into Earth laws here soon. They're kinder, not as judgmental type of laws. Of course, you have the courts and stuff like that, like we do here, but and rule of law, like you do have policemen there and stuff like that. But under the old regime, it was really brutal. But under this one, he's much kinder. He knew his species some of him had to come back through time in order to integrate themselves here. If he walked in the room down here on Earth, people would get spooked. So what he does is he sends people out to do certain things on Earth. He's kind of like Tyler in that respect.
Yeah.
And Valiant Thor in that respect. They're all playing their roles. But at some point we would put more like they'd be allowed to see him. But for the most part,
before he leaves, I want to ask him. Yeah, before he leaves.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he's here.
I'm going to put you on the spot, Chris. Hey, Bugnazi. I want to dishonor you and respect you, and insectoid, any toid, any kind of being we should all love and with no judgment. Hey, what do you think, Bugnazi? Do you got a little song jig, a little short song jig you can sing? And you just you sing it to Chris, and Chris can sing it to us. What do you think, Bugnazi?
Now all he's doing is just kind of he's doing what Zeus was doing a minute ago. He's just kind of goofing off. He's not doing any singing. He's just kind of doing a dance, but that's about it.
Oh, Chris, you're just seeing him dance. He's probably singing. You can't dance. We can't see you dance, can we?
Well, he's doing kind of like a jig, it's like a jig, but he does that from time to time, But yeah, Zeus was doing that as he came in. I'm like, okay, but when they're goofy like that, it's pretty funny. Michael will do goofy, but he does it deadpan. He'll do like a comedic type thing, but deadpan. Yeah, and that sometimes is funnier. But like some of the other guides, they'll do like this little jig like Zeus and Bugnazi are doing. But somebody like Zarganis or Michael, they'll just sit there and do something deadpan, and you won't see them laugh or anything like that until after. Like if somebody else starts laughing, they'll start laughing. But but Michael's like the king of deadpan. He does it, perfect like that. But
what do you mean by deadpans? What are you saying?
A deadpan comedy is where you tell the joke and the comedian does not smile does not show emotion or anything, and they just tell the punchline in like that that dry form. And
I couldn't do that. I gotta have to practice that to do that. That would be hard. That's an expert if you ask me.
Yeah, he does that quite a bit. Now beings like also my guide Simeon, they're goofy too. Like he does a little of both. But Zeus just came in doing like this jig. I'm like, really? And then Bugnafi is doing.
Now, Chris, all these beings that come in that you describe, all these happy and doing jigs, they just like humans, they can't help but rub off on you. You're probably goofier than you lead us to be, Chris.
Oh yeah, sometimes. I've been known to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's funny. That's funny. Yeah, and I can see Bugnafi is waving, and he's leaving now.
Bye.
But yeah, it looks like that was it for the.
Is there anything you want to share? Is there anything you want on your heart to share, and then we'll bring a couple people in.
No, I think that we pretty much covered it. But
okay.
Yeah, we can bring in who's next.
Okay. Is there anybody in the audience, star 6, that has not had come forth before? First of all, and then I know Annie wanted to ask a question, but is there anybody else in the audience? Star 6, guys. Oh, maybe I have to unlock. I think. Hold on. Okay. Okay, you guys are set. Just star 6. And just come in, say your name, say hi. Maybe we laughed him to sleep, Chris.
Okay. That's okay, too.
Hello?
Yeah. Oh, hello.
Oh.
Hello?
This is Patty.
This is Patty.
Hello, Patty.
Patty loves the mantoids so much.
Are you ready to meet one of your guides?
Yes, I've already met Mincer and Pincer, but I really have an affinity to the mantoids. Always have, always will.
Well, let's see if Patty has one of those as her guide.
Okay.
Maybe
yeah, I remember. I think you had another. Was it you that had the guide that was named O'Grady? I cannot remember, but
I'm not sure. I don't know. You gave me Mincer and Pincer as my
Mincer and Pincer. Okay.
My husband and my child, so to speak.
That's right. Yeah. But the reptilian child, man. Yep. You're right. Yeah, and sometimes I don't always remember all the guide names. That's why I have a bunch of little notebooks sitting around. But anyway, let me see. I'll see if there's any insectoids around you. And remember, they're not all good, but some of them are. So let's see.
I've had I had a cricket incident a couple of weeks ago that was so bizarre. Every time I opened a window, because it squeaked, the crickets, I had to keep looking out my window because it sounded like they were huge. I never saw one, but they were out there.
Okay.
It squeaked just like they squeaked. It was really weird.
There is when you were talking about the insectoids. Yeah, I'm seeing a single one stand looking at me. I can always tell the difference between the ones from the future and the modern day ones, because the modern day ones have those fly-like eyeballs with they look like golf balls with little divots and stuff in them.
Mm-hmm.
The modern day ones have that. The future ones have almost a human-like face, but with bug eyes, littler eyes. But this guy, he looks like he's from this time, and he's just kind of looking at me. I don't know what. I'm trying to see who this is exactly. I'll ask him here in a second. His name is. Okay. This is simple enough. He said his name is Zon, and he's a mantis. Zon.
Say it again. The name.
Zon. The name is Zon, Z-O-N.
Oh, my God. No. Oh, my God. My friend was calling me Mama Zon yesterday.
Oh, that's interesting. Maybe that's sometimes I see things like that come through in weird ways like that. So, yeah, he says his name is Zon. And, yeah, he's kind of taking credit for that whole thing that you heard, where you've been called Mama Zon. Yeah. And,
oh, my God, I told the guy off. Whoops. I am rather insectoid. I have to go back and fix that one. I will.
It's okay. He says it's fine. Yeah, he says, I'm asking him if he actually is concurrent with this timeline, and he says yes. Sometimes it's confusing because a lot of them look the same, but they're from different timelines. But this guy, he says he's only recently come in contact with you. So this isn't like a lifetime sort of thing like the reptilians were. But
good.
Yeah, this is recent. Yeah, he's saying, he doesn't talk, with his mouth. I see he has like these pincers for a mouth. So if he was in the room, it would just sound like clicks.
Does he look like an ant?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
But he doesn't have he's not one of the ant people like you hear about in mythology. I've encountered them too, but most of them are from the future. But but this guy, he has the face of an ant, kind of, but he looks more like a praying mantis, and he's real thin, and he's small. It looks like he's about, I'd say probably 5 foot.
Good, he's my size.
Yeah, he's short, but he's joking too. He says, "Who you calling short?" And
I'm a 99-pound weakling, okay? But I'm stronger than most of you.
Yeah, he's kind of joking around too, where he's looking like he's flexing muscles, but he's like a stick figure. So he kind of looks like a cartoon character. But Me too. Yeah, he said he recently encountered you within the past maybe week or two. And then you and him have a similar sense of humor. So your reptilian, mate that was out there suggested that he come by and talk to you. And let me see. Yeah,
I will be nicer to my reptilian relatives now. They've just come back into contact with me. And I just told my sister I didn't want to contact her because she is for Obama. Obama them. I said, as long as you're for Obama them, don't contact me again.
Oh, my God. Oh, curious enough, though, I found out he's extraterrestrial. That's a whole story in and of itself. But he's actually part reptilian himself, I found out.
Good. Well, my family disowned me 20 years ago, and now they're trying to get back to me, and I'm pushing them away. Oh, what a bad little insect I am.
Well, curious
they
enough,
will come after the awakening. I've understood that now. They're starting to see. And my sister told me I was the smartest one in the family. But she only understands about 15% of what I say.
Well, that's okay. People will get it in their own time. Don is saying that you actually do have some insectoid DNA. He says a little bit, not much, but it's there. No,
just the right amount.
Says some humans have it, some people don't. And he says it's not a bad thing. It might cause you to have some OCD behaviors, like maybe you click your fingers together or something.
No, I go off on people sometimes. I'll take a lot. I will take a lot, and then all of a sudden I'll explode. And I exploded all day yesterday. But I've mended my fences from that already, I think. When he called me Mama's on when I was being bad, he told me he was Baby's on, and that I'm Mama's on, and it just cooled my jets for a while.
Okay, well, good, Patty. You found out something. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
This is wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, he's funny. You know, he's going to be around you. It looks like he's preventing some of the bad guys from showing up. So, yeah, it looks like he encountered you out in I don't know if you were in the city. Let me see. Yeah, it looks like you were out in the city. I don't know if you were out doing something recently, but he says he encountered you out in the open. Let's see. Yeah, that's exactly it. You didn't see him. Like, he gave a clue to whoever yelled at you and everything, but because they're highly telepathic. But,
well, they're in my backyard a lot. Okay.
Oh, the mantises? Okay.
Well, mostly spiders. But, you know, I can barely see them. I did see a little dinosaur last year.
Oh, you
Maybe
did?
the
like
spider. You know that spider that's in your room? Is this spider still there, Chris?
No, he just mysteriously gone. He's just gone. But, yeah, he left. But so I'm thinking there was something to that, too, because there was this big, like, wolf spider staring me down on the floor. But
can you call him back in?
I don't see him anywhere.
Okay.
But
right.
Yeah, so you have, like you said, Patty, you have actual lizards show up, or are they just bugs that show up?
I also have, what do they call it? Banana slugs that showed up last year, and I'd never seen a banana slug in Spokane. And they look just like a snake's head. They're that big without a body. And the first time I saw one, I went, oh, my God. They were coming out of my neighbor's trailer. And I said to her, well, the man that lived here before had a motorhome, and he came from Seattle. I think he brought the banana slugs to us. And now they're all around.
Huh. Yeah, they must have traveled like that. And also, Zahn is telling me that his people eat something similar to that. They eat bugs, little like slugs like that. So he might.
Most of them are emaciated when I find them. They're dead.
He's doing that. You know, he eats he eats them, but he prefers them a certain way. So it's their form of like cooking, but he's doing it on a telepathic level, and he's the one doing that. And
I found one 2 weeks ago, and I took it to my nephew's house, who was in jail, and I said, give this to my nephew when he gets out of jail. He's only 17 years old. And I told his dad, I said, tell him that this is his protection, and if he doesn't behave and stay off the methamphetamine, this bug's going to eat him.
You're silly.
That was on Father's Day I did this.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you, Patty. You learned something new, and we all learned something new tonight. Thanks a lot, hon.
For being so evil now that I have my good guides with me.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Yeah, I don't see anything dark around you at all, so that's good.
Yeah, you're the bright, shining star, Patty.
Good. So this liver cancer is gone, right?
Yep. I'm believing it, too. I know it, too.
Looks like it.
Me, too. That's when I started getting buggy, is when I got that cancer.
Oh, bugging you out. And the good bugs. Glory. Okay, let me just see if there's anybody else on there. Thanks, Patty, a lot. Love you, girl.
Thank you, guys. I love you. I love you, Chris.
Thank you.
Patty's my Irish girl. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm a Clary.
Yeah. I'm a Mulligan. *6, anybody else? Come on in. Here's your chance.
We can do one more. Yeah.
If nobody comes in, I'm going to have Chris check me out. That was a...
Shouldn't be anything there.
No, I don't mean it that way. Huh? I didn't mean it that way.
Yeah, I had a feeling somebody was going to misinterpret that, but okay.
Yeah, thanks you said that. I'm possessed by the good stuff. They call possession demon possession. Oh! Well, hello, they turn it around. There's such a thing as God possession. You better believe it. And you all can get possessed by God as much as you believe and have faith and how much as you want. Okay, anybody else? Just star six to mute up, Patty. Thanks, son. Okay, Chris, can I... Hello? Hello?
Hello?
You're way in the background. Fix your phone a little. Say something. Say something. Hello?
Hello?
Try calling back in. I don't know what happened, Chris.
Oh, well, let's see.
Am I still here?
Yeah, just star 6, okay. Patty.
I was trying to get off. I started 6 to try to get off. Maybe that's what I did, and I didn't get off. How do I get off?
Star 6 to mute, yes.
Okay. I'll try that again.
Okay. Okay, young lady, I heard you back there. Yeah. Okay. Well, should we wait a minute, Chris?
We can keep going.
All right.
So let's see. You said you wanted me to check you real quick.
No, not check me. Just anybody have a message for me? I asked. Of encouragement.
Okay. Let's see here. There's something odd going on here. There is another being that wasn't with you during our reading. Not sure who this is. This being kind of reminds me of Yoda a little bit. Okay, I know what species this is. There actually is a species known as gremlins, believe it or not.
Cool.
Yeah, and it's weird. I rarely see these beings. They only come out generally on the equinoxes and stuff like that. And they're usually very anal retentive when it comes to the equinoxes and the solstices and stuff like that.
I like gremlins. Gremlins are cute, and in the movie they're depicted as very, very ancient, like Chinese or something.
Yeah, and sometimes they're like in the movie Gremlins, they're always depicted as evil, but that's not true at all. They do. Some of them are ill-tempered, but this guy, he's in this red cloak, and he's about I'd have to say 4 feet high, and he has this pointed hat, kind of like the Pope type hat, but he's red. He has a red hat, and he's all in red, and his skin color is green, and he reminds me of Yoda. He looks so much like Yoda, it's just funny. But he's taller, and he's telling me he's not speaking in any language. I think his density's too high. But he just waved his hand at me. He said 5th density. That's not that high. And he said, okay, yeah, he's kind of whispering, so he's hard to hear. He's like, okay, I'm seeing what his name is. Okay, this is a V name this time, okay. Okay, this is a lot of O's in it. This is his name is Voosor. 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 Now, and he's one of the gremlin kind. It looks like they're really rare to see. They're extremely rare, and they generally come out on the equinoxes and solstices. But he said this one he came out just for this specific thing. And he's saying, what is he saying? Oh, he's going over to you. Okay. I was wondering why he was walking out the door. Like, what? Are we going to do something? And and he's walking over to you now. And let's see. Write this down. Yeah, he's behind you, going. He's whispering something in your ear. I'm trying to hear him, and will tell me to wait a minute. And now he's saying, he said there was this long message he whispered into your subconscious. He says you'll end up channeling it through automatic writing at some point. Okay. He says the bulk of the message you probably won't want the public to hear, but the gist of it was that he mentioned Femar's name, and that's that reptilian man I told you about. He says Femar had a message for you, but he couldn't be here. So he this Vusor whispered it in your ear.
Femar's the one that came in on the very first of my reading, right?
Yeah, he was the reptilian man that was in the abduction sequence. Yeah. And he said Femar had a message, but he whispered in your why Femar sent this gremlin and didn't come himself. I don't know, but let's see. Seeing if there's anything that he wants me to put on the live on the radio here, and he goes, no, he just wanted me to tell you that there was a private message from Femar. So I have no idea what it is.
That was a message within a message. Now I'm going to make a point to do an automatic writing and let that come through, right?
Yeah, he stuck it in your subconscious, so this Vusar doesn't have to be in the room. I've done this before, where you can stuff is put in your head, and you can outwardly channel it without it being there. It's just in your back of your mind. So it's not as taxing as, say, outright channeling the being themselves. So it should be fairly easy. But I've had to do it a number of times, where a being will put a book in my brain, like Dawantari put a book in my head called the Heresy of Form, and it was supposed to be about the creation of the human species, like the different systems and stuff like that. And I've had to channel that out a couple of times. So, you can look it up in your mind whenever you want. It's kind of like a note, or book, where you can open it and look at any page, and it's in your brain all the time.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's like a memory, like you're going past over a memory. So, that's all this Vusar wanted. He said Femar sent him. So,
thank you for
that. Yeah, and that looks like that was the only thing. It looks like.
Is Lily on the phone? On the moderator line, Lily? Okay. Well, there's like 10 people on the other side. Nobody's talking tonight. And anyway, we had a wonderful call, galactizing, relationshiping, and knowing the stars and the angels involved in the energies from Cynthia, Marianne, and Mare tonight. Great. Ta-da! So, you feel complete, Chris?
Yes, I think that's pretty much it tonight.
Absolutely. Well, let me end it with a little music, and we'll see you next Monday, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Right. Keep on shining, diamonds, and check out the little music. It's a song, and then I have another little song. It'll be on the recording now. Here we go.
Trees of Greenland, big roses too. I watched them move for me and you, and that to myself. What a wonderful world. And I think comes away and the bright mystery. I like to dive into myself. What a wonderful, so pretty in the sky. But people passing by, shaking hands. How do you do? They really say, I love you. I hate each time they'll learn much more than we'll know, and to myself, what a wonderful.
My name is Pinkie Pie, and I am here to stay. How you doing? I'm gonna make you smile, and I will brighten up your day. It doesn't matter now what's up, if you are sad or blue. Cause cheering up my friends is just what Pinkie's here to do. Cause I love to make you smile, smile. You got you. Fill my heart with sunshine all the while. Cause all I really need is smile, smile, smile. Happy, happy friends of mine. I like to see you grin. Awesome! I love to see you beam. The corners of your mouth turned up is always Pinkie's dream. But if you're kind of worried and feet made of crown, I work so hard and do my best to turn the dust out upside down. Cause I love to make you grin, grin, grin. You got you, but it all from you to hear that it feels good. Just give me a joyful grin, grin, grin. And you fill me with good cheer. It's true, some days are dark and lonely, and maybe you feel sad, but Pinkie will be there to show you that it isn't that bad. There's one thing that makes me happy and makes my whole life worthwhile, and that's when I touch my chest again and smile. I really am so happy. Your smile fills me with dreams. I see your smile, I get a smile, and that's so special to me. Cause I love to see you beam. Yes, I do. Tell me what more can I say to make you see that I do. It makes me happy when you beam. Yes, it always makes my day. Come on, every pony, smile, smile, smile. Fill my heart up with sunshine, sunshine. All I really need is a smile, smile, smile. Happy, happy friends of mine. Come on, every pony, smile, smile, smile. Fill my heart up with sunshine, sunshine. All I really need is a smile, smile, smile. Happy, happy friends of mine. Come on, every pony, smile, smile, smile. Fill my heart up with sunshine, sunshine. All I really need is a happy, happy friends. Smile, 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 smile. Come on and smile. Come on and smile.
Smile. Diamonds and shine, diamonds bright. Until next week. Love ya.